You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Jerk of All Trades podcast.
It's time to go to work. Jerk of All Trades podcast, episode number 21. Best of episode for you guys. Thanks for sticking with us. We love you. Ray, what's up, man?
Yeah, we have a great show lined up for you guys today, and we are going to put on display for you what separates us and what we do well, and that is changing the freaking world with our podcast. And so we are going to present to you the best of the Universal Call-out. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. So we should probably give the listeners a little bit of background on the Universal Call-out and kind of how that came to be. So so basically this started from an episode where Eddie and I went to the float tank. It was the first time that Eddie had ever gone to a float tank.
Woohoo!
And so I brought him to a float tank, and Eddie at some point came up with an idea. I was talking about the movie Altered States. Yes. In that movie, the main character ends up turning into a monkey via going into a float tank. So Eddie came up with the brilliant idea of putting a monkey in a float tank and what would happen. And so I threw it out into the universe that I wanted a fun monkey story to come into existence for us.
Yeah.
And the next week, I didn't really get a monkey story. I got a gorilla story about a guy who was running a marathon in a gorilla costume.
Yeah, close enough.
And the next week, it
worked for me.
We got a decent monkey story. We got monkeys on the loose in Florida. And then the next week we had they were the same exact type of monkey. I believe it was the Reese's monkey was on the fucking loose in India and stealing people's beer,
banging all the other chick monkeys,
banging all the monkeys, and so they were going to give the monkeys birth control, and that kind of birthed, no pun intended or maybe intended, the Universal Call-out. And so basically, what the Universal Call-out is it's synchronicity at play. I'm a huge fan of Mr. Carl Jung, and he talks about synchronicity a lot, and basically influencing the world via your thoughts and your ideas. And so we're utilizing the platform of the Jerk of All Trades podcast.
Well, the coolest thing about it is it's completely random.
Yes.
Every week it's different. It's not the same. It's different every single time, and we never know what it's going to be.
Yeah, so it kind of started, I threw out monkeys just because I thought it was fun. And so we kind of talked about how are we going to come up with our topics? We're just going to randomly pick things. And that didn't really seem like it made a lot of sense because, and then it seems like we have an influence on it.
Sure.
And so I found a website where you can basically randomly select a, set number of topics. And so every week we hit the randomizer, and we see what the universe or what the interwebs gives us, and then we see what the universe gives us after that. So there's been a lot of fun ones. Eddie, why don't you tell them about bats?
Oh, bats was crazy. I thought nothing would ever top bats. It still might be one of my favorites. It was relatively short, but the bat stories that we wanted didn't arrive, but the bat stories that I think we all kind of needed
yes,
eventually
very
arrived. True. When we had tons of people getting into incidents with baseball bats.
That was not what we thought.
Not
we thought bats the animal.
Yeah. So, and it kind of just
we wanted Jeff Sessions to be attacked by wild rabid bats.
Yeah, it just kind of stemmed from the monkey story, the monkeys in the float tanks, to the bats, to the randomizer, to the bats. And then bats went crazy. And from there, it just kind of took off.
Yeah, then the next week after the violence of that and talking about how the universe misunderstood us, We got Buddhism, which I thought was hilarious because obviously nonviolence. And we have had a lot of other fun ones. We had puppets, which brought about the Kanye West puppet show thing. We had the dolls with the evil dolls.
Accordions!
We had accordions, which we didn't think would deliver. And it didn't deliver as well as everything else did.
We
but
had to look on
accordions
that
kind of
one.
suck anyway.
Yeah. Well, we had to make it hard. That was like the crest of the Universal Call-out. It was like, all right, bats too easy, Buddhism too easy, like all these topics way too easy. Let's challenge ourselves here and go with the least newsworthy topic. And we still came out with 3 mother-hugging stories. So
Absolutely.
like that?
Absolutely. So and every week we we basically hit that randomizer and we see what the universe brings us. And it always brings us good things. And
so here you have it, the best of the Universal Call-out episode, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get right to it. So we'll be back at the end of the show with our newest Universal topic and selecting a new topic after that. So stick to the end for some new stuff at the end.
Yes. Function of our brain.
The monkey robot blowjob machine.
Maybe we'll have a fun. I'm hoping for a fun monkey story next week. Now we've talked about monkeys.
We're going to the zoo.
We've talked about monkeys quite a bit, so I'm hoping. Let's hope for a fun monkey story to somehow come into the popular forefront of the mainstream news, and hopefully we'll get to talk about that. And hopefully it won't be the harem bee. I think he was a gorilla, so it's not a monkey. But yeah. So if you remember last week, I threw it out at the end. We were talking about the float tank. Eddie had the brilliant idea of what if we took a monkey and we put a monkey in a float tank.
That is correct.
And so I threw it out into the world that I wanted a fun fucking monkey story to come into existence for this week's podcast. And
comes with an asterisk.
Yes, it does. It comes with an asterisk.
It's a gorilla.
It's a gorilla, so it's not technically a not technically a monkey, but you know what? This
an amazing feat nonetheless.
This ties into a previous topic we talked about in episode 2, I believe. 2, 3?
I don't know. 6 days.
I think it was
London Marathon.
Yeah, it was episode 2. We talked about the guy who drank beer at every marathon. So
the beer.
So this ties together with this guy. Actually, he's a police officer in London, and he just ran a fucking 26-mile marathon. His name's Tom Harrison, and he goes by the name of Mr. Gorilla. And the fun thing is that he did it dressed as a fucking gorilla. And even better than that,
super impressive.
Even better than that, he actually did the whole entire marathon. He didn't just run in the goddamn gorilla suit. He actually did it like a gorilla would do. So he did it on all fours. It took him a long fucking time to do.
6 days.
And he actually did it for a good reason. He did it for a gorilla organization. I'm sure they do some.
That's true commitment.
Some cool shit. They are dedicated to conserving gorillas in Rwanda, Uganda, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
He got less money for this than the fucking $250,000 for that Black Mirror shit.
Yeah, he definitely did not get that.
An angel investor, and $250,000. This guy, 73 pounds.
Kendall Jenner got $363,000 American dollars to make one Instagram post about the Fire Festival. This guy got 23,000 euros that they donated to charity.
We're slacking, man.
It's pretty fucking cool. And you know what? I'm upset that I didn't get a monkey story, but I think the most logical thing to happen here is, for charity, we need to throw this guy into a float tank.
Oh, shit. For sure.
And all proceeds go.
Get him a blowjob robot, too.
Right. All you're thinking what I'm thinking. Two great minds think alike. We want all of that money to go back to the Jerk of All Trades charity for us to get a blowjob robot. And
was this you in the gorilla suit?
That's
what I want to know.
I am not at liberty to discuss.
I'm suspicious right now.
It may or may not have.
You're getting the side eye.
I believe that. My name might be Mr. Gorilla. So yeah.
6 days you were gone, Ray.
I was. Well, you know what? We podcasted last Thursday, and I immediately headed out and did this fucking marathon, and. Then I came back.
And you're like, Eddie's going to buy me a blowjob robot.
I really wanted the monkey story.
It's close.
It's
super close.
I really wanted the monkey story, so I created this character, Mr. Gorilla, and I immediately left. I left the Jerk of All Trades podcast headquarters to go to this fucking marathon, and I slept on people's couches and such, and I raised a bunch of money for charity, and that wasn't the real reason why I did it.
That's awesome.
I did it because I want a goddamn blowjob robot.
Yeah. That's why I would do it.
You know how we would have got through this marathon a lot quicker? Self-driving
gorillas.
robot bang bus.
Oh, dude, robot golf cart.
Ooh, you know what I'm waiting for next week? I'm waiting for a robot gorilla story. I'm waiting for a robot gorilla story. I'm gonna throw that one out there. Just gonna say that.
A robot gorilla, man, that would be
If we can keep
superhuman.
compounding these fucking stories week after week,
Turn a gorilla into a human. He'd fuck everybody up.
I mean, a gorilla would fuck everybody up
Unless you had
regardless.
tranquilize on him like right away.
Tranquilizer will fuck you up, man. If anybody's got some tranquilizers and they want to donate those to the podcast,
Oh, you suicidal?
we will have a tranquilizer. Well, you go into ketamine is a tranquilizer. It's an animal tranquilizer, and people use that as
I can't do it.
as a psychedelics. Go into a K-hole. So a little bit like going into the float tank. So yeah, let's dress somebody up in a gorilla suit. We'll give them a bunch of ketamine. We'll throw them in the float tank. And then we'll open that shit up and we'll see what the fuck happens.
Dude,
what?
That'd be overpowering.
Yeah. This is just getting more and more.
This guy's commitment needs to be like applauded, though.
Absolutely.
6 days he did this shit every fucking day on his hands and legs.
It was pretty tough for me, but it was worth it in the end. So I was not this guy. This was definitely not me. But fucking
big ups to this guy.
Big ups to you. Good karma is coming your way. Do a little debut once again. So earlier we talked about the monkey story that we were able to throw out into the world.
Which is proof that if you speak something into the universe,
yes,
the universe will respond back.
Synchronicity, man.
Yes.
If you put out energy to something and you truly believe in it and you don't let your own mind fuck it up, that shit will become a reality when you least expect it. And you know what? We had 1 week, we had gorilla. It wasn't quite a monkey. Then we had week 2, and we had a monkey story. It was all right. This week, we had great monkey story. So the new fucking theme on the show here is going to be the universal call-out for a topic for the Jerk of All Trades podcast. And so Eddie and I talked about it, and it's like, man, what is the topic going to be? What are we going to make it be? And then I thought, that's really against the point, because what that does is that puts your own mind into it, and that's how you fuck your shit up. So what we're going to do is I found a website, and it basically randomly selects a number of topics, and I'm on the website right now, and I'm going to hit refresh, and there's going to be 4 topics, and Eddie and I are basically going to see what the topics are. And we're going to, amongst ourselves, decide what is the topic, and then we're going to throw out into the world.
Are we going to speak about the 4 topics, or are we just?
We'll let them know what the 4 topics are, and then we will, amongst ourselves, decide what is the topic that we're going to throw out there. Then we're going to put our energy out, and we're going to hope that it becomes a reality. So
it'll come.
All right, so we are here.
I'm hoping the 4 words that come up is Eddie wins the lottery.
I don't think those are the things that are going to happen.
Come on, generator. Randomize that motherfucker.
All right, so refresh.
It's random. You never know.
All right, so we got blacksmiths, Africa, mountaineering, and bats. What is your choice?
I don't hate bats.
I actually liked bats. It's the first thing that I really connected with. So
bat story.
Yes. So we had
robots.
We had robots and
monkeys.
Then we had monkeys. And then last week we came up with the idea that we were going to basically have a section of the show called the Universal Call-out. And in the Universal Call-out, basically what we were going to do, we went onto a website that randomly generates 4 topics, or however many topics we want. We picked 4. And we did that at the end of the show. And then Eddie and I picked from those 4 things, and we both chose bats was what we were drawn to. I believe blacksmithing, bats. Africa, mountaineering, and bats. And
what would have happened if we picked mountaineering?
Yeah, that would have been interesting. We definitely did not do that. We
didn't go with it, but who knows what would have happened?
So we went with bats, and I think both of us kind of were thinking of the animal bats. We kind of talked about Jeff.
That's where I was going with it.
I believe Eddie said that Jeff Sessions might get attacked by a bat on LSD and rip his eyeballs out.
Fuck yeah.
And that did not happen. And instead, what we caused a shockwave into the universe in which every motherfucking person out there was getting beaten by baseball bats. And that's not even an
This
understatement.
isn't what we were asking for.
No, we were not. We were asking for bats to attack really, really shitty Republicans who want to bring back mandatory minimum sentences. And instead, what we got was a bunch of people being beaten by bats. So let's fucking talk about that. Eddie, why don't you
This is
drop a
crazy.
couple of the instances?
Well,
Because there's
God
many.
damn it, man. We were talking about bats last week, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories
We can't even keep track of these fucking
of
things.
fucking people getting the beat down with a motherfucking baseball bat.
Yeah, it's too much. Too much, man.
The newest one that just happened was this little boy at a Yankee game. Chris Carter, he plays for the Yankees. I don't know if he's a DH or first baseman, but his bat broke, swinging the bat, hitting the baseball, and the piece of the bat flew into the stands, and the bat nails this little kid.
The sad thing is that it wasn't even just a regular ass kid. It was like a disabled kid. His leg was already in a goddamn brace.
God damn
Now he
it.
gets hit in the face with a baseball bat because we are jerks and because we throw it out that we want to get a good bat story. And instead we get tons of really shitty bats.
Hit in the face with a bat.
That wasn't what we meant,
And
universe.
this is only number one.
We did not want that. And instead of getting some cool, bats doing cool things and, I don't know, turning into vampires are real or something, instead we get things like the Ariana Grande tribute that was happening in Birmingham.
England. This happened in England.
Yeah, we had a guy that came in with an axe and what the website was describing as a stick.
It's a bat.
We looked at the goddamn pictures. It's a motherfucking bat. He had a goddamn bat. We had a 32-year-old woman who killed a 57-year-old woman with a baseball bat.
That was crazy.
Even more interesting is that they said that she was always seen or often seen with a bat. So
this bitch just be walking around with a bat. Like, try me, bitch.
If you are not Chris Carter or some other baseball
tired of you
player
complaining about my parking spot, I'm gonna hit you with this damn thing.
If you're walking around with a baseball bat all goddamn day, you're bound to do something bad. And if JOAT throws it out into the universe, you're probably going to beat someone to death. And that was not what we wanted.
Another crazy one, 18-year-old arrested for using a bat in Jacksonville, Florida. Full video online.
It's crazy, too.
She hit 2 people in the head and smashed a car window.
Yeah, she went fucking buck wild.
Go peep the video if you haven't seen it yet.
Fucking wild. Then one of my favorite ones, we had bat-wielding robbers were smashing up a mall jewelry store. They were masked guys, and I believe when I read this story, the only thing I could think of was it the Warriors? And I would come out like, Warriors! Come out and play. I don't know if Eddie, since Eddie's never seen the Toxic Avenger, I assume he's never seen the Warriors.
I've seen the Warriors on Netflix.
Have you? Oh,
I did not enjoy it.
Oh, you did not like it?
I'm sorry. It was C+ at best.
Oh, okay. But you know what? That was what I thought of. It was the fucking baseball furies from the Warriors are heading out there and causing fucking havoc with baseball bats.
And then this ain't even the end of it.
No,
Last
it continues on.
An off-duty correctional officer beaten by his teen son in Anaheim with a motherfucking baseball bat.
You guessed it.
This all happened in the span of 7 days.
Was Buddhism, which was perfect. The complete antithesis.
This is right up Ray's alley.
Right. This was completely opposite to what we, the violence that we had because, Buddhism is nonviolence. And so we had Buddhism. And so let's fucking talk about that. And let's talk about what came of that. So Eddie, you want to hit him a little bit?
We got a couple stories this week about Buddhism. It's one of the world's most major religions. It has a rich history of philosophy, psychology, and metaphysics. And interesting enough, the Dalai Lama says that the brain comes from consciousness.
Yes, so absolutely.
It's what consciousness delivers to the brain.
Yeah,
what makes you human.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the world is very mathematical, and if you break it down to that level, like you're basically the experience that you are having right now is this mathematical information that your brain is processing and then projecting back out, and you are basically creating this image of the world. And so Buddhism is very rooted. Obviously, there's a lot of tenets of Buddhism, but one of those things is that your mind creates the reality that you are experiencing, and that via a bunch of different methods, one of which being sitting meditation and mindfulness, you can basically start to kind of control that, and you can kind of morph that and change that, and basically change your reality. And so that's one of the major things of Buddhism. And so we had a couple fun Buddhism stories that came up this week, but there's another portion of this that came of it. So I'll let Eddie hit his story that he found that kind of connected with him, and then I'll tell my
Well, it
story that
wasn't
connected
much of a story. It's just a background on Buddhism about silencing your mind monkey. And
but it was about entrepreneurs who are
oh
basically
yeah, yeah, yeah,
utilizing utilizing
meditation.
meditation and mindfulness to basically be able to deal with a lot of the anxieties and the stresses that come from trying to do something.
The everyday grind of being an entrepreneur.
Right. You're trying to do a lot of things, and you're trying to grow whatever business or whatever thing that you're trying to do, which we're doing here too. And obviously, there's a lot of stresses and anxieties and such with that, and
Yeah.
apprehensions. And so you can basically use mindfulness to kind of see what's going on in your brain, and you can kind of control that a bit more and be able to deal with those things better. And so I think you can do that as an entrepreneur, but you can do that really as anyone.
Yeah, even
So,
without being an entrepreneur, practicing quiet meditation.
yes.
15 minutes a day if you got it, every day, to sit in a dark, quiet room and just clear your mind. Clear your
Yes.
mind. Embrace the quiet. Embrace,
So few people do it.
calmness. Yeah.
So few people do it.
And you will come out refreshed, feeling good. Me and Ray actually meditated today.
Yes,
for
which
30 minutes.
we will definitely be
Yeah,
hitting
we'll hit
and
that
talking
later,
about
but
that.
coming out of it, I felt like I'd just taken a nap.
Yeah.
Even though I was awake the whole time, obviously, but it felt good, and I felt refreshed. After
Yeah,
that.
that's one of the big things with meditation for me, is that so you have your everyday waking reality and what you experience every day. And even if you don't fully realize it, and I think a lot of people do, but I mean, it's very mentally taxing. You constantly have this stimuli that's like coming at you from all directions. And you have, the way that your brain, like I talked about, the way your brain processes this information. And so you have
Sure.
all of these things that you are consciously.
You got a job, you got your wife, you got your kids, you got
Right.
bills, you got this,
Whatever-
you got
whatever
that,
you have.
traffic, just everything.
Right. It wears down on you, but you have those things that you are aware that you are like, basically all these things are happening around you, and you choose what to dial in on. And there are still all of these other things that make it into your subconscious mind, and you don't realize that. And so your brain, your body, your spirit, your soul really gets weighed down by all of that stuff. And so basically what meditation does is it really, like, as you're not sleeping, you're not awake fully. I mean, you are, but it's this weird bridge world between those two realities. And so, I get a little bit into the dream stuff, and delving into all the symbolism and such of my dreams. And so, I totally get how that allows you to kind of deal with some of that. But this is kind of a different type of thing, like lucid dreaming is something that I'm very into. But this is like that, but kind of different in that you're still more aware. And as you sit more and you do more meditation, you become more aware of your monkey mind and the way that that works, and how you can, hopefully start to control that and start to like not let these thoughts and things that, affect you as much. And so the more that you do it, the more aware of the world and the way that it works, and the more you can appreciate the good things in the world, or at least that's the way that I look at it. So
Sure. Yeah, and I read a quote here that says for Buddhism, people are disturbed not by events, but by the view they take of them.
100%. So
So it's not what's happening to you;
It's
how
your
you
perception.
how you perceive it happening.
absolutely. So the human mind is a very, very funny thing, and it chooses to have a certain experience and remember things in a certain way. And if you went back and you actually saw the way that it actually played out, you would see that it's not quite what you remember it being. It's like the way that you may think that people think a certain way of you, and they have a certain perception of you, and you become very anxiety ridden about that. And then you really realize
Who cares?
most people think about themselves and their own experiences so much more than they think about you, and the percentage they think about you is just much more minuscule than the
Yeah.
amount that you think about yourself. And it's really just you allowing your own perception of your reality to drag you down, and in meditation allows you to be able to handle that
It releases it a lot.
quite a bit better. So I wanted to talk about this story that I had. Was there is basically in I believe is this in Thailand? I think this is in Thailand, but there is it's in Thailand. They are actually installing a speed limit monk in vehicles, and the goal of this is to keep people more mindful of their driving, and hopefully start to save lives, slow down, drive a little bit more safely,
Yeah.
because they're seeing this this Buddhist monk that they worship, and it actually it plays like a little jingle jangle preaching voice thing.
When you're driving too fast.
Right. So I thought that was like an interesting, I can't imagine what would happen here if we had like a little fucking a buddy Jesus there.
I tell you right now, if I had a little Kathy Griffin sitting on my dashboard and she had to tell a joke every time I was driving too fast, I would drive the speed limit immediately.
I might actually drive off a fucking cliff. So
I
might
just
not
get
be
a head-on collision and just end it all. If I have to hear one more shitty Kathy Griffin joke, it's over.
Yeah. So as we said, as I've stated on the podcast before, and so I've been into this type of stuff for quite a number of years, and I have meditated probably thousands and thousands of hours by this point, and so it's definitely not a new experience for me. Eddie, I think can you confirm? Have you had I know we did the flow tank. What kind of experience do you have with meditation aside from that?
I've tried to meditate a couple years ago, and I'm just not very good at it. My monkey mind is all over the place, kind of similar to when I was in the float tank early on, how my mind was just in constant motion. I couldn't control it. I couldn't get it to quiet down. Today, actually, I was able to get it to quiet down quite a bit, more so than I don't know if it's because of the blindfold and the earplugs.
I got you in the right mindset, and I definitely guided you a bit. So instead of
I think it might have been the pillow.
It helps for sure.
It helped me a lot.
I think that so we actually did not do mindfulness. So I started on basically a form of transcendental meditation. I find that having a mantra is a good intro rather than like watching the breath, or I've done like loving kindness meditation. I've done a lot of different types of meditation, Vipassana, but I find that mantra based meditation it really gives you like a core thing to go back to, and so I gave Eddie a mantra to go back to, and so I'm sure that definitely helped.
Oh yeah.
And I think too that the fact that like no matter what, so when I meditate, I mean even after thousands of hours, when I meditate, a lot of times I'm like, I think of all these reasons why I need to stop meditating, and I need to like get this done, or I need to get that done, or whatever it might be. And so when you're really like forced to like, you have got to do it. Like there was no way that I was not going to sit there for 30 minutes, because I had to sit there for 30 minutes. Eddie was doing it, and it was going to be part of the podcast. So I had to do it. And so when you're really like, you have no other choice, and you break past, that level where your mind is just a fucking mess, and you start to get to those good levels, and you come out of it and you just feel so much better. And
yeah, I'm gonna try to go 5 minutes a day, baby steps, 5 minutes a day, every day, just to see if I can get there.
Make a practice of it. That's a big thing of it too. Is even obviously the meditation itself is helpful, but just having like a ritual and a thing that you're doing that you're focusing on is really really important. And whatever it might be, it definitely is helpful. And so, what kind of experiences can you tell them about? And then I'll tell them a little bit about my experience from today.
Oh, from today?
Yes.
I just had overall good feelings after. Nothing too much during. It was just me repeating the mantra and pretty much thinking about how awesome our podcast was going to be today. But after it was all over with, I felt good, man. I felt good. It felt like I had taken a nap, even though like I was wide awake the whole time. It really eased my mind, calmed my mind, got me in the right place actually for the podcast, to be honest with you. And when I came up out of that, it was hard to stand up. Coming out of there, I was in
Yeah, yeah.
half lotus.
Half lotus,
I was in
yes.
half lotus. My ankle was killing me after the 30 minutes, so I'm gonna dial it down a little bit if I do it at home. But it was cool. It was definitely cool, and it's something I want to continue on with to see if
Awesome.
I can reach the levels that you'd reached today.
Yeah, and you know what? And from that, I want to say, so as I said, I've done it a lot, and obviously, and maybe not obvious to you, but the listener here, but I'm not an expert, nor do I claim to be an expert. There are monks and just whatever people that spend their entire lifetimes in sitting meditation to try to reach enlightenment, and I'm goddamn not enlightened, and I'm nowhere near it. But I've had a lot of really, really bizarre and interesting experiences doing meditation. I've had a lot of really, really awesome and blissful, fucking happy experiences doing meditation. And I've had a lot of just like fucking bad, what I would, and that's a label that I put on it, but a bad experience.
Really?
Much like psychedelics, I come out sometimes and I'm like, man, that was a fucking wreck, dude. Like I
Damn.
spent 25, 30 minutes and like, it feels like a wreck. Like I feel like a wreck, I
You
dealt.
walked out feeling shittier than
No,
when you
no,
walked in.
I don't think I don't think that's it. But I mean, I think that that's important because just like psychedelics, when I talked about the bad trips, it's that same type of thing where it's not a bad meditation if you just do it. That's the big thing that I always tell people when I talk about meditation is that
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I'm not a good meditator or whatever, and it's like, dude, if you are meditating, you are doing well. Like it's all about the practice itself, and if you're placing some sort of expectations on it, then you're actually kind of missing the point of meditation. But anyway, like I said, I've had some really, really bizarre experiences, so I thought I would talk a little bit about my experience today. So we did 30 minutes. Normally what I do is about 20 to 25 minutes, and beyond that is honestly it starts to get a bit tough. 25 minutes I found is a pretty good sweet spot for me. But anyway, we did 30 today. And so, yeah, things have been kind of crazy in my life right now. And I meditated. It was actually a different place than I normally meditate. I have in our podcast room here, I have a whole little kind of ritual meditation table with a bunch of accoutrements and stuff and things that really inspire me, that get me in the right place of mind or the right frame of mind to meditate, incense, all that kind of stuff. I got a Buddha statue, Kali. I've got a bunch of stuff on there. But anyway, I meditated in a different room today because I wanted to let Eddie kind of have that experience down here. So I started meditating, and one big thing that I get a lot, and I talked about this on the float tank thing. I get these like kind of energy or electrical charges that kind of go through my body, and it's like this tension that's like built up in my body, and it's just like these like kind of like electrical shock waves that kind of go through my body, and it kind of causes my body to twitch and my muscles to spasm a bit, and I just feel this really crazy like energy going through me, and so that'll go on for, I mean, I don't really know because time kind of ceases to exist a little bit in the meditation world, and so they go on for whatever, and then eventually they like subside, and I kind of start to like feel like I'm going into the next level, I guess would be the best way to describe it. And I feel like more calm or whatever, and hopefully like my thoughts subside a little bit more, and I keep going back to my mantra, and all these thoughts are going through my head, and maybe like I find myself chasing them a bit, and eventually they just like I kind of see that, and I kind of like gently go back to my mantra, and eventually they go away, and it's like the next thing, and it really makes you aware of like what's going on in your brain every day that you just don't realize. And so anyway, I had that happening a lot, and so a little bit later on in the experience, I basically, so everyone has this, and maybe depending on what you're into, maybe this might sound a little crazy, but you have that voice inside of your head which is you, but it's not you, and it kind of talks to you in the third person. And so this thing kind of talked to me in the third person, but in a much different way that I'm more aware of than normal. And it basically said like, you are going to reach a different level today, and don't be scared, and just
Hell
accept
yeah.
it, and just like
That was
like,
actually me telekinetically speaking to you.
it's very possible. We're all connected. We're all made of the same shit, so it's possible. So I heard it, and whatever. I just I tried to not attach to it too much.
You
Whatever.
took it in and took it for what it was.
Absolutely. And so towards the end of the meditation session, I had the kind of electrical charge thing going on in my body, and it was pretty intense. And so anyway, it finally just subsided, and all of a sudden I just like like not my conscious mind. I just felt my head like move upward towards the sky, and my head actually did move upward, and it was like I was being like my head was being drawn up into the stratosphere, into the cosmos, and my head, was pointed completely up. And all of a sudden, like this weight, like I felt like there was this like giant weight on me, and I just like literally felt it, like just like if you just like you were fucking wearing some clothes and they were super heavy and they had a bunch of weight on it, and you just like you detach them and they just like fell to the ground. Like I just felt that feeling come through my body, and there was just this like calm that just came over me.
Like weightlessness?
Yes, absolutely. And it just dropped, and my head just became like a balloon, and I just felt myself just like floating in the fucking stratosphere, like just becoming one with everything around me. And this lasted for, honestly, at this point, I'm not sure, because like I said, there was no fucking time in this, and it was just like an amazing, amazing feeling. And then
that's pretty damn cool.
I set a timer. I've got a meditation timer on my phone, and it rang. And like as it rang, once again, subconsciously, like not like aware of doing it, like my head just like from going like at full tilt up just went full tilt down, and my chin just like came down to my chest, and I fell down, and I gave it like 30 seconds to just allow that fucking awesome energy to be going through me. And then it was done. I opened my eyes and I came back into reality. And so
that's what we're striving for, Ray. We're trying to get on that level.
Absolutely. So you know what? And once again, I want to state that it's not about that experience. Like if I attach myself to that and the next time I meditate, I'm like, man, I want to get that feeling again, then I've lost track of why I'm meditating, because I don't want to do that, because, like you said, it's not the actual experiences, it's your interpretation of the experiences. And if you are interpreting things as negative or positive, like you are placing a label on it, and nothing is inherently positive or negative. And so you just need to, step off that a little bit. And so.
Absolutely. Good times.
Yes,
new experiences here on the Jerk of All Trades podcast. You learn something new every week.
Universal Call-out from last week. So
yeah,
we've got another week of Universal Call-out, and this whole subject on the show kind of happened out of nowhere. We had some monkey stories that we were calling for, and then we had some monkey stories that came out that were kind of shitty, and eventually we got cool monkey story, and so we kind of turned it on into a little thing on the show. And then we had last week was Buddhism. We had some fun topics. The week before we had people getting beat the fucking death by baseball bats.
Yeah.
That was
don't forget about the robots.
We
started talking about robots, and the next week there was a robot Terminator.
Robots, and there was blowjob robots.
And a blowjob.
R.I.P. blowjob robot. But
yeah, that's sad.
Last week we didn't have the best topics to pick from, but we both chose potatoes. And
right now we're at the point where we can just fuck with it.
We
right?
really can.
I mean,
I think this week we picked the shittiest subject.
Yeah,
and then let's see what happens.
The whole objective now is to not have any cool stories, because it's just been so easy for us now.
Yes. So we had potatoes. And I'll tell you what, so the crazy fucking thing is, basically how I find the stories, if they don't happen upon me, I just kind of, I write whatever this particular thing is in the news. So like, I thought it was hilarious that I had to write potato in the news, which apparently there's like multiple websites that are dedicated to just like all the newest potato happenings, and apparently it's probably more for like potato farmers and stuff, which we're definitely not that. But we had a couple of really fun stories that I wanted to talk about. So the first thing that I wanted to bring up before I do this is Eddie had sent me a potato story, and he titled it, and he wrote potato. He wrote Potatoe, and
that's how I spell it.
and I couldn't help but laugh and then respond to him. And I basically brought up the Dan Quayle thing, but I didn't really kind of fully spell it out, and Eddie was confused on that. And so then I had to send him a whole article about Dan Quayle and how his entire vice presidency was basically defined by the fact that he didn't know how to spell potato. And not only that, he scolded a child on it. So
only in America.
Only in America. So anyway, first story we had, there was a gun-wielding bandit bandit that was sought in a potato chip robbery. So
a potato chip
there
robbery?
was a potato chip robbery. It happened in San Francisco.
Oh, man.
Apparently, there was a guy that made off with several cans of potato chips. So, I mean, we know what that is. He wasn't getting fucking Lay's stacks. He was getting goddamn Pringles. They don't want to name it, but
he was maxing those Pringles.
I can't imagine what would happen with that. But I guess he whipped out a firearm. He demanded the cashier fork over the Pringles. I would speculate what kind of Pringles he got. I mean, you got to get fucking barbecue Pringles.
For sure. Sour cream and onion. And barbecue.
Barbecue's got to be top.
Actually, for Pringles, give me some original.
If you got like fucking, they have some weird flavors now. Don't get the fucking weird.
I don't play with that
cinnamon shit. Fucking like what the nobody fucking eats that shit. Yeah.
On a Pringle?
Yeah, that's a thing. They have some weird ass Pringles out there.
Hell
no. That's story number one.
Was that number one from the end of our podcast last week?
So yeah, we actually had literally. When the podcast ended, the next day I looked up potato in the news and I saw
that was the first fucking.
It was from
story.
It was from like 19 hours ago, which was basically literally like right after.
Exact same time that we did the Universal Call-out.
So like literally the universe like dropped this topic immediately as we said something. So and then in looking into this, I thought it was hilarious that apparently not 2 weeks ago there was actually a man who used a potato chip bag in a robbery attempt. So
oh jeez.
There was a guy. Who robbed a car wash in Northern California with an empty potato chip bag and supposedly had a handgun. And
that had to have been Lay's.
And then
it had to have been Lay's.
He probably wasn't if it was a Pringle can, he would have never got his fucking hand out. No one would have believed that. Like I have a real tiny gun in here, trust me.
Yeah.
Then he has to like have the cashier like pull the Pringles can off of him. Like she just thinks he's like trying to get those last couple Pringles out.
He's
of
like,
there.
you're lying. It's a knife in that Pringles can. That ain't no gun. So, you don't scare me.
The man gestured the weapon was in the empty bag. The cashier saw it only held a piece of cardboard, and she called a coworker for help. Oh my god.
Oh
so
man.
She didn't even call the police. She just called like fucking Johnny that fucking like works in the back fucking scrubbing like wheels. Like, hey Johnny, can you come out here? This guy's got a piece of cardboard inside of a fucking Lay's bag and he's trying to rob me. And then apparently the suspect fled on foot. Of course, he didn't have a car, but so anyway, yeah, that's that story. And then we had another fun story. We had there's apparently this is happening in Australia. There's this existing basically quota of the amount of potatoes that you can grow there. It exists since the 1940s, and there's this guy. He's named the Spud King, and apparently he exceeded the potato quota, and so he's being sued by the largest he is the largest potato grower.
He didn't get that nickname by accident,
but he was sued by the Potato Marketing Corporation for exceeding his potato quota. So
damn.
Just fucking ridiculous universe. I mean, thank you once again. You're just giving us so much.
They knocked it out of the park again. Alien overlords. We thank you.
You know what? Let's not talk about knocking out of the park.
Oh wait, we're not even finished.
That gets too close to the baseball thing. And
going back to the Dan Quayle thing. Me and Ray would keep in contact pretty frequently during the week. And I was working on the podcast, I think it was Sunday night or Monday night. And I was sending Ray an email. And as I look up to the TV that I hadn't been paying attention to for roughly the last 2 hours or 3 hours, the women's college World Series was on, NCAA Softball World Series. It was in I believe, the bottom of the 14th inning. And there was a member of the Florida Gators holding up, wait for it.
Waiting.
A rally potato, a fucking potato in her hand, waving it like it's a fucking
wave that potato in the air like you just don't care.
Yeah, like it's the second coming or something. And I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, Ray, you're not going to believe this. I just looked up at my TV and this chick is holding up a rally potato. Give me a break. What's going on here?
Let's talk about the Universal Call-out. Let's talk about our results with accordions.
The accordions, man.
So last week, the world is too much. We have just been dominating the Universal Call-out. And so last week we said, fuck it. We're going to throw 6 topics out and we're going to pick the worst fucking one out of all of them.
It's going to be too easy.
And what do we pick?
Accordions.
There's no way that there could be weird fucking shit happening in the world with accordions.
There was like an 85% chance we weren't going to get a story.
But wait. We fucking did.
Oh,
and
no.
So let's talk about...
Not just one, but two.
Not just one, but two. So and the hilariousness of this. So we ended the podcast last week and we did our editing. Actually, I don't even know if I even edited the podcast. And I was like, let's look up accordions in the news.
Just for spits and giggles.
Right. Let's see what's out there, right?
Yeah.
And so we did. And we found immediately a story that had just dropped like right before that. And it was about a new weight loss surgery. And it's called the accordion weight loss surgery. And basically they fucking like they do some shit to your fucking stomach and they turn it into something that resembles an accordion. And
yeah, they basically stick a tube down your throat and suture it down. It's an endoscopic gastroplasmy, and apparently it's supposed to be safer and more effective than the gastric bypass. So yeah, man, if you're down for that fucking accordion tube getting shoved down your gullet and stapled to your fucking stomach,
you're probably pretty large, but
yeah,
you know, whatever.
Yeah, you can only eat as much as the tube will fit. So if it breaks out of that tube,
if it does not fit,
puke.
You must have quit.
That's right.
We don't have an OJ story this week, but we might.
So that was story number one, the safer gastric bypass, called the accordion, that obese people are starting to use now.
Yeah. So we spent all week, or at least I spent all week, looking for an accordion store, and I'm like, I can't fucking find another one. Like, we're just gonna have to talk about the fact that we had an accordion story that happened right after we recorded the podcast, and that was fun. And then we're literally sitting here, we're getting ready for the podcast, and Eddie, why don't you hit him with the next thing?
Story number 2. Accordion robbers in Sunningdale, England, for our English followers, stole more than fucking 200,000 euros worth of instruments in this past year from an accordion store.
Who does
only
that?
Sells accordions.
They only sell accordions. What the fuck?
They got their ass robbed 4 times in the last year. More than $200,000 worth of euros of product got stolen. And the last time they got robbed was on April 23rd. This story is from like 21 hours ago, even though the last robbery happened on April 23rd.
They need fucking information. They're
looking for 2 guys. They got pictures on the website. So if you're in England,
check them out.
And you got a guy with a fucking in the back of his fucking trunk got accordions he's trying to sell to you. You know he probably stole.
You know
them from
there's a fucking problem
store
if you are buying
England.
I feel like if you play the accordion, if you are buying your accordion out of the back of a fucking van, there is definitely a problem. I don't feel like there's a lot of overlap between accordion players and people that would support criminal activity. So if that happens to you somehow, and that might be very bizarre, you should probably contact the authorities in England. So once again, the Jerk of All Trades podcast, we are changing the fucking world.
Who is stealing accordions?
We are in.
I don't get it.
I was just scrolling through fucking Facebook, and all of a sudden I see. Now, I want to say the crazy thing about this too is, so this happened 10 years ago almost. How has no one ever heard about this before? You have Kanye West, one of the biggest fucking hip-hop artists and one of the biggest musical artists of the past decade by a long shot. You have Kim Kardashian, one of the biggest asses of the last decade, famous for, getting boned on fucking camera. We talk about Kendall Jenner, her sister. I think they're sisters, right? They have different, who's famous for unknown reasons. And then this just randomly comes up the day after the podcast. God damn it, dude. We're fucking killing the fucking game with this, dude. It fucking blows my mind.
You know who else is killing the game?
Who?
Fucking Kim Kardashian, man.
Yeah.
She just launched a makeup line yesterday, made 14.4 mil in 10 minutes. Where the fuck are you at, Paris Hilton? Fucking Kim Kardashian is raking in the money. She's milking that sex tape for all it's worth.
She's been milking
and she
something.
Might be milking some other things.
She's
too.
milking her fucking udders, probably. But
and have you
seen that ass without Photoshop?
I gotta tell you,
it's not that attractive. But you know what?
I don't care. It don't matter to me. I'm not that selective. But Paris Hilton had a sex tape, and Kim Kardashian had a sex tape, and Kim Kardashian's just killing the game right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Paris Hilton, where you at? I haven't even heard of Paris Hilton in like fucking 10 years.
Yeah, so let me talk about another thing that I read in this that just fucking was hilarious to me. So I'll read the quote. This is from one of the dudes that actually like worked on the show, and he said, "I went to West's house. He had this great ceiling that had sort of a Sistine Chapel type mural painted on it with him on it. I remember thinking that was the ballerest thing I had ever seen in my life. He had a room just filled with clothes, just out of a Macy's warehouse kind of thing." He said, "When I saw American Psycho, I felt like I'm a little bit like that Patrick Bateman character, but without the murders."
Thank
so,
God.
so Eddie actually had never seen American Psycho. American Psycho is actually one of my absolute favorite movies of all time. I love the book. I think it's an awesome movie, an awesome book. It's a great fucking metaphor and connection between the yuppie culture of the 80s and fucking serial killers. And so it is so funny to me that Kanye West would see this movie or read this book or whatever, however he came about it, and he would find this connection with this character who is so clearly self-absorbed, such a motherfucking psychopath, sociopath, who just like, repeats things that he heard and thinks that it somehow connects him with other human beings. And I mean, if you know anything about Kanye West, and I know a little bit, not a ton, yeah, that's actually very fitting. So
You know what I want to know about Kanye West?
what?
What's his favorite cereal? Because you referenced serial killer and Kanye West, so it got me thinking. Like, I wonder if this motherfucker
Fruit Loops.
eats cereal. I don't know. We have to ask him.
You think he's like a fucking Cheerios fan?
Kanye
Hey,
West.
you want to
if
be on a
listen-
podcast?
Yeah, if you ever hear this goddamn shit,
What's your favorite cereal?
what's your favorite cereal? And let us know, and maybe we
or
can
just
try
let the
it out.
world know. We will have a live taste test of whatever his favorite cereal is
Yeah.
when it finally comes out into the world, because I really want
I'm
to know
just
that.
interested to know, because that's just something that just popped in my brain during the conversation here, and
Here's another crazy thing. So we actually we were initially gonna talk about this movie in the podcast, and it didn't end up happening because Eddie didn't like it quite as much as I did. But one of my favorite fucking movies of the past year was Jordan Peele's Get Out. I thought it was one of the most creative fucking horror movies of the last decade.
just
honestly,
skip the first 40 minutes because you won't miss anything.
no, you don't do it. Eddie's taste in movies are subpar in comparison
It's
to mine.
bad. The first 40
It's
minutes is bad.
not. It's actually called character development. But anyway, neither here nor there. But Jordan Peele was actually writer on the pilot of this fucking shitty alligator boots fucking puppet show thing. And he was also simultaneously working on his first screenplay, which would eventually become Get Out. So how fucking bizarre that
More synchronicity.
Yes. So, and then another interesting thing on this as well. West met Kim Kardashian on the set of this, as we talked about, and it was after watching the sex tape with Ray J. And he insisted that she be hired to play his love interest in the show. And the thing says, because nothing goes together.
Have you
like
seen the
sex
Kim
tapes and-
Kardashian sex tape?
I had never been on Pornhub before last week, so
I gotta let you know, I downloaded that shit
I've seen
a while back.
I've seen it.
Yeah, she didn't suck dick all that great.
No.
I mean, either she's not a big Ray J fan, or she just isn't very good at sucking dick.
Well, here's the thing: she's been rich her whole fucking life, and she never really had to be good at it.
Probably.
When they talk about how fat chicks suck dick better than other girls, and I say that in the most non-offensive way. The most non-offensive way. I want to make that clear.
Are you saying that because Kim Kardashian has a fat ass now?
She a little bit, but point being, I mean, she still doesn't have to, but she, she's a fucking multi fucking billionaire she gets $14 fucking million for her shitty fucking makeup.
In 10 minutes.
She doesn't have to learn how to fucking suck a mad dick. She can fucking like. I think of the Chris Rock back in the day about the different girls and sucking dick. The girl that likes nothing better than to suck a dick, and the girl who comes up, the one that won't, and then the one that just like licks the head a little bit, and like she's like, it's so sour. Like that's, I imagine Kim Kardashian's the sour girl. Like it's so sour. So
Kim Kardashian's got enough money to make you suck your own dick.
Like that was probably the only time she ever sucked a dick. She just did it for the fucking for the thing.
It reminded me of, remember when Amanda Bynes went crazy a couple years ago? Like she completely went off the rails. Well, Amanda Bynes went fucking nuts on Twitter. She wanted Drake to murder her vagina and fucking all this.
Do you think he did?
I have no idea. But the point is, I can only judge Amanda Bynes' downfall based on her blowjob skills. If she's sucking mad dick, like, fucking 10 out of 10 blowjob style, she's gone fucking crazy. But if she's sucking dick like Kim Kardashian sucks dick,
Yeah.
I'm not buying it.
No.
I'm not buying it.
No.
Because, all right, well, you want to go back to the puppets?
Yeah, so let's. I actually hadn't even seen this. I read this little thing. So
Yeah,
there was a man dressed up as a blackface female puppet.
Oh, this is crazy.
Who
The
was
29th annual Fremont Solstice Parade in Seattle, Washington. Fucking this guy dressed up as a female puppet wearing nothing but blackface. And he got kicked out for being stupid and racist, but mainly just racist.
Wait, hold on. This is separate from the Kim Kardashian thing?
No, yeah, this is separate.
What? I didn't even hear about. Oh my
But
god!
I'm telling you, if you dress up as a black,
yeah, it's gonna be absolutely awesome. This episode of the Jerk of All Trades podcast is brought to you by Kanye checks and the Universal Call-out, changing the world one bowl at a time.
talking about cereal bowl?
I don't know what kind of bowl you think I'm talking about.
A fucking cereal bowl with fucking Kanye checks in it.
Fucking Kanye checks. What kind of bowl would Kanye pack with his favorite cereal? What do you think?
Probably some Kashi.
Dude, you can't reveal too early, but you just blew our load. So, all right. So all cereal aside, we'll save that.
What was I supposed to say?
I don't know. Read the outline. But so anyway, let's talk about last week and Eddie, and he called it out in the world. We were talking about Kanye West.
Oh, that is right. See, the cereal just threw me all
Yeah,
off.
I know. I'm looking at my bowl, and I really want to eat some more of that, but I won't because I'm going to be respectful and I'm going to do the podcast like a normal human being.
Yeah.
So
Last week we were talking about Kanye West, and Ray had his
the puppet thing,
American
the fucking
Psycho
puppet,
story.
the fucking puppet thing.
Where he quoted the movie American Psycho.
Yes.
Started talking about Kanye West.
Because Kanye West thought he was like Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, but without all the killing.
When Ray said cereal, I was like, dude, I wonder what Kanye West's favorite cereal is. Yeah. Now we have our answer.
So I had to look it up after the podcast, right? Because
sure, it should be out there.
I had to know, right? And so I looked it up, and I actually found an entire article about it. It was actually Kanye's favorite cereal, and it was a bunch of rappers. It was basically their tour riders, and it talked about what kind of cereal and all that. Not just cereal, but like what kind of shit do they want in their hotel rooms and that type of thing. And it actually answered the question of what was Kanye West's favorite cereal, and the answer is actually Kashi Golean. Kashi Golean. It's not Chex. It's not Cheerios. It's not Captain Crunch. Nothing really all that fun. It's
no
just
Fruit Loops.
No Fruit Loops. It's Kashi Golean. So we got a bowl of Kashi Golean right here. Both of us do. So
taste test,
let's take another bite.
Yes, indeed.
Wait.
So when are we gonna reveal that I'm eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Wait. We're gonna reveal right now. God damn it.
Okay.
You motherfucker.
Because I'm just sitting here eating cereal. You knew I had this, right?
No.
Oh, damn.
Dude, I'm over here eating this healthy ass fucking Kashi Golean.
Yeah.
And you're over there eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I got almond milk and fucking Kashi Golean, and you got Cinnamon Toast Crunch with regular milk.
And you got a Corona.
And you got a water.
I have a Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Coca.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Coca-Cola. So, how funny though that we threw it out in the world, and not only did we get the answer, I found a funny picture of Kanye West that someone had photoshopped with his own brand of Chex Mix, and it says "The Breakfast of God." And it's got Kanye with his collar popped. He's holding this goddamn box of cereal. So
it's not a bad picture.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I'll tell you another funny thing. So on the American Psycho thing, so we talked about the American Psycho and how Kanye had likened himself to Patrick Bateman. So actually the other night I work second shift normally, so I got off work and I was like, man, I want to go out to fucking eat. And because I don't eat meat, I don't have a lot of options, especially after hours. So one of my choices is like IHOP or Denny's or whatever. So anyway, I got off work, and like where I work, I have to wear a button-up shirt. So I was wearing like a button-up like Dickie shirt, and underneath that, I was wearing I have an American Psycho shirt that I've actually had I bought it the hot of the topic. I don't know, probably 2005 or something. Had this shit for a long time, and I was wearing that underneath, and I had unbuttoned my shirt, whatever, because I had to be cool and stuff, and it's also hot. And so I'm hanging out there and eating, order my shit, got some pancake puppies and some fucking regular ass pancakes, and had some eggs and some toast and stuff, and just kind of chilling, waiting, whatever. And I hear the song come on, and it sounds like Fall Out Boy, but it's even more terrible than what I remember from Fall Out Boy. And they just keep saying over and over, "I'm an American Psycho," and I was like, "Wait, are they saying I'm an American Psycho?" And yeah, I was a little taken aback by that because a little bit of synchronicity up in the piece.
Yeah, the joke of the week.
Yeah. So yeah, we had to shout out on some breakfast cereal here, and we promise that we will keep it to the breaks from now on. So
Yeah, fucking jerk of all trades, man. We're breaking the mold.
yes,
Proof is in the pudding. Universal Call-out is shattering humanity's reality each and every week with the Universal Call-out.
yes, we had a particularly interesting week this week. Eddie, why don't you talk about that?
What was your birthday? Shout out to Ray's birthday.
I suppose we missed a little bit of shattering right there. So
that shattered the reality.
All right. So last week I told the story about, against my better judgment, I told the story about how I broke in 2 windshields over the past month.
Oh.
And
2 wasn't enough.
It has been determined that I can no longer be in the vicinity within 50 feet of any piece of glass. And unfortunately,
we're gonna wrap Ray up in some bubble wrap so he can't break anything
fucking
anymore.
Bubble Ray the bubble boy.
Ray is the new bubble boy.
So I had my birthday party, had a rather large shindig at my house, and had a lot of alcohol here. And my buddy decided that we needed a keg because you turn fucking 34 years old, and what do you need?
Gotta have a keg.
Gotta have a fucking keg, right? So we got a keg, and you're 34 years old, and you have a party at your house, and you have a keg, and what must you do from that point? Well, of course, you have to do keg stands, right? So we started doing keg stands, and it was fun. It was fun, and I want to mention that I was actually not involved with this, but one of my good buddies.
It's still crazy that it happened.
Yeah, one of my good buddies. I was in the vicinity. I was within the 50 feet that I'm talking about that I'm not supposed to be. So maybe my bad juju hit.
Even if you were wrapped in bubble wrap, it wouldn't have saved them.
No, my whole house would have had to be wrapped in bubble wrap. But anyway, so of course the brilliant decision was to place the keg near the house and near my bedroom window.
Near the chicks and hens?
Yeah, near the chicks and hens. The one thing that my girlfriend wanted to make sure that was not destroyed.
There was only one casualty.
Right. And it was all the chicks and hens. And also
they weren't VR chicks either.
Yeah, no, they were just, fucking weird plant things that have the Fibonacci sequence, so they're pretty cool. But anyway, so my buddy Derek goes up, and I'm not sure who was holding him at this point, but I just remember I was doing whatever. I don't even know if I was watching, and I just heard, a crashing sound, and then I heard a thudding sound, and I turned around, and there was my buddy Derek laying fucking half of his body up against the house, and glass shards around him. And
Botchamania.
Apparently his body had flipped over. He had fully rotated, and he smashed into not only my regular window but my storm window as well. Destroyed both of the it's a triple track storm windows. It's got 2 glass panels. They're both on the top, so the screen was on the bottom. He destroyed both of those.
Didn't matter.
Destroyed the bottom sash of my regular window.
Oof.
So I currently
luckily you didn't have any cuts or
no cuts or lacerations, not like Ray the Jerk, but he broke that window, and I currently have a couple garbage bags and a bunch of tape on my window, and I'm waiting to get a new window. So yeah.
No more glass.
No more glass anywhere near
glass
Ray the Jerk.
Yeah, they're a little too real.
Yeah, we're gonna hope that this is the last one. So yeah.
And expensive. So.
Yeah, they're a little expensive. Turtles are a little bit less expensive. So let's talk about fucking turtles, man.
Yes.
This has got to be up there with bats of just.
Oh
man,
sure.
Goddamn, I'm like, can we stop getting motherfucking turtle stories or what? Right? Every
They were
fucking
great though. This is quality.
they're all
content.
fucking good. They're all good.
I thought the whole first hour was just gonna be turtles, but you know,
Hey,
it ain't that much. But
hey, Eddie.
it's pretty good.
Hey, Eddie.
Hey, Ray, what's up?
Well, you're dressed up like a zombie. Yeah, that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
I like turtles. Sorry, that was
Nice.
I don't think
Me too.
I don't think.
I like the sound of that. Let's get started with the old favorite of ours, Universal Call-out from last week.
Motherfucking Universal Call-out.
We had a rock, paper, scissors battle to see who would be the victor in the selection.
Yeah, and Eddie had mummies, and Ray had nurses, and
They both delivered.
Ray lost, and we were kind of worried that maybe nurses should have won, and mummies made it happen too. So,
oh yeah, you know the media's got Eddie the Jerk's back all day, every day on this.
yeah, mainstream media.
So I'm very delighted to have not one, not two, not even three, but 4 mummy stories.
And we had to
this
cull
week.
some of the mummy stories too, because there was tons and tons of mummy
Oh,
stories.
sure,
out
yeah.
there.
I think we had to perform a little Matt Hardy action on one of them.
Yeah.
And hit that delete.
Delete.
Yeah. So the first one that we want to talk about is from National Geographic.
Yeah.
CSI tools, crime scene investigation tools.
Not the TV show. Sort of similar.
Used to bring a mummy's face to life.
Yes.
So basically, it's a Peruvian woman that died in her late 20s, about 1,600 years ago.
Whoa.
She was under 5 feet tall, with tattoos and snakes and spiders, with tattoos of snakes and spiders all over her body. The tattoos made it. 1,600 years later.
A hot tattooed.
Oh man.
A hot tattooed
And
Egyptian woman.
She ain't looking that bad.
She looks all right. Yeah.
So this kind of makes me want to get some badass tattoos, because it's like in 1,600 years, if I'm still around, I got my little tattoo game going on.
There you go.
Still.
You know what? So Ray the Jerk actually has quite a lot of tattoos, and so as someone that has a lot of tattoos, and especially like visible tattoos, I have tattoos like all the way down onto my hands. I get people that kind of have the, hey, what if you don't like those things in 20 years? And I mean, who cares? Life is about now, and it's about the things that you like now. But that you can basically look back at that at a period of your life, and you can remember why you got that tattoo. And then the other big thing that people talk about is, what is that going to look like when you're 80? Well, guess what?
Now you know.
I'm going to look like shit when I'm 80 anyway, and so at least I'll have some fucking badass tattoos, and hopefully 1,600 years from now, they exhume my fucking body with future CSI shit, and hopefully they're like, whoa, this fucking, random dude from Wisconsin had
Ray the Jerk from the JOAT podcast.
Had some fucking, hopefully I'm not a random dude at that point.
Nah.
So, yeah.
Well, yeah, and just to close this out, they used laser scanners and 3D imaging to create an impression of what this lady's face would look like. Super cool.
Yes.
Who knew that they had this body from 1,600 years ago laying around?
Crazy, man.
Apparently they did, and National Geographic doing the damn thing.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool shit.
Yeah, moving along to the University of Tübingen in Germany. DNA tested 90 preserved bodies in Egypt. The results showed that the genetic ties in Egypt are actually from Greece and the Middle East, and not Africa.
It was a melting pot, man.
Very much so.
Very,
Yes.
very interesting. You actually, I was reading a different article than the article that Eddie initially ended up sending me on this. Was a CNN article, and this one actually delves a lot deeper. So, Eddie, why don't you basically explain what this particular article explains?
It basically describes Egypt as the epicenter of travel and trade at the time, which was about 1300 BC to about 400 AD. It reminds me a little bit of New York. You know, it's just like
absolutely.
You got people from all races, all colors, all languages coming in and out, in and out, in and out, all day, every day. And you can see it in Egypt. It's got all the structures and all the buildings. It's just so crazy to me that they're able to accomplish that back then with such little technology.
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming.
I mean,
who knows?
Let's talk about the motherfucking pyramids, man. God damn.
Yeah. So it wasn't all these African Egyptians. It was a lot of Greece people and a lot of people from the Middle East. So
yeah, it was definitely a lot different than what your textbooks growing up would tell you about Egypt. I think that especially growing up in the United States, obviously our country is still very young in the grand scheme of things, but we always want to, we're the world power, and so we don't want people to maybe realize that at one point there was other, areas of the world that were world powers, much like we are, and eventually they kind of fell. So hopefully we don't see that happen here. But we definitely could. One other thing that I wanted to touch on that I thought was kind of interesting, a little bit of synchronicity on this. So the mummies that they exhumed, there's 90 mummies. The mummies date from 1388 BC to AD 426, all came from a popular burial site in Egypt called Abu Sir el Melek. This site was a hub for a religious cult that was devoted to Osiris. That's the ancient Egyptian god of the dead.
Osiris.
So I thought that was very interesting because actually Ray the Jerk actually had gotten a beer. I hadn't even read through this article yet, and I didn't even think about the mummy connection at all. I basically just bought this beer because it's a badass Russian Imperial Stout, and it has awesome fucking artwork. It's from a brewery called Third Sign, and it's called Osiris. So I thought that was pretty fucking cool that
more synchronicity.
Yes.
It's just so crazy.
It is abound.
It's amazing that with such little effort, it just comes to us.
Yes.
But moving along, our third story: an alien mummy was found in Peru. It was a female mummy, or a female alien. I'm sorry, named Maria. Has 6 fingers, 3 on each hand, and 6 toes, 3 on each foot. But unfortunately, you Peruvians, you're not fooling us over here in the US of A.
Yeah, we're a little too bright for
We're
that.
on to
right?
you. We're hip to the game. This is believed to be a hoax. So you can check it out if you want. Just Google Peruvian alien mummy and take a look for yourself. Much like how I like to say about everything else. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody else. Believe your own eyes and your own ears.
Believe Ray. I will actually say, too, this is not actually one of our articles. It was from a couple months ago. But I saw another story about a mummy that was exhumed. And people were speculating that it was a fake because it had on Adidas shoes.
Oh, jeez.
So they sort of looked a little bit like Adidas shoes. I don't think that they were Adidas shoes. I actually don't know what came of that. But hey, who fucking knows? Maybe they had Adidas back then, right? So.
Oh, fuck yeah. All day, every day. Adidas stand up.
Yeah.
Up in the 1400 BC.
Yeah.
So, and then there's the last one.
Which is my favorite, actually.
Yeah, Ray was excited about this. I was surprised.
Super pumped on this because I didn't really understand. It's a yummy mummy.
The yummy mummies are back. Or I don't know if they're back, but they're here again.
I believe this is actually a new series.
Okay, yes.
On
this
Channel
is the
7 in Australia.
Yummy mummies.
So I thought this was really funny because this was a little bit like the baseball bat thing. So where the universe kind of like misunderstood us. So when I thought mummy, I definitely didn't think that's what they refer to as moms in Australia.
Yeah.
But fuck, yeah, there's a new reality show called Yummy Mummies that seems to hearken to some of our terrible, the Real Housewives of random big city thing. So.
X, Y, and Z. Yeah, watch out, Kardashians.
Yeah, they're
Yummy Mummies are in the house, bitch. And they're trying to take over Australia, and next they're probably coming over this way.
They are coming for you.
I saw the trailer. It doesn't look too bad. The show profiles 4 multi-millionaire women, tracing them from pregnancy through birth of their babies and into their lives as new mums. It's
mummies.
Yeah, or mummies.
I would like to see them as actual mummies. I think the show would be actually a lot more interesting if we wrap them up in gauze, and then try to set them on fire or something, put them in a sarcophagus. That would actually be much more entertaining than what I'm looking at here. So
these chicks got all the loot. They ain't got that Kardashian money, but they got some money.
I think they all seem to be pregnant too. So
yeah, that's the whole thing about it.
Yeah.
But it's your typical reality TV show. You can check it out if you want, but this was just so funny because it popped up in my news feed for mummies, and I said, fuck it. Let's go to work.
And this became my favorite story out of all the mummy stories by like a long shot. I like the other ones. They're not as funny. This is ridiculous. Fucking mummies. So Eddie the Jerk might have to go over to Australia and see if he can hook up with one of these mummies.
Maybe take Ronda Rousey out to fucking Australia and get the job done. You never know.
Yeah. Well, she has to have she has to have a baby, right? To be a mummy?
That's what I'm volunteering for.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
make sure you wrap it up, dude.
No. Lo and behold, Sharks is our universal call out for this week on the same episode as Great Balls of Fire with Brock Lesnar as the main event, where he F5'd a toy shark 75,000 years ago when Eddie the Jerk was much more handsome and better looking.
But, hey, better with age, like a fine wine. God damn it!
So the results of the last week universal call out: Sharks.
Sharks might have been our strongest results.
This is pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, we had to dial it down because we had so many shark stories.
We had way too many shark stories, and they're all good.
So, Eddie the Jerk has always got your back, whether it's that progressive medicine, UFC, or how to prevent a shark from biting your ass. And we have that story here, and it is how to prevent a shark attack. And to prevent a shark attack, avoid swimming in areas with an unusual amount of fish where sharks could be searching for food.
Because you could be the food.
Don't go swimming at night, motherfucker. Don't swim alone because sharks tend to go after an isolated prey. If you're going to go out in the water,
bring a girl out there or something,
Bring somebody that can swim slower than you, for sure.
Yeah. You have to race them for a little bit and see, and then I guess we can go nighttime swimming up in the ocean.
Don't go swimming with any Olympic swimmers.
Yeah, don't go swimming with Michael Phelps. We'll talk about you later.
Yeah. And then if you encounter a shark, don't run away and keep eye contact with the shark.
And actually, you would have a hard time running away because you would be in the water.
Oh, for sure.
So you would be treading water, I believe. So if you're going to get away, you should probably swim.
Yeah. And then when trying to get away, keep facing the shark and move backwards slowly. This is all real shit.
Can I ask you a question?
This is all real shit.
Can I ask you a question? How do you keep eye contact with the shark? What if it's a hammerhead?
Oh,
which side do you look at? Do you just do you just spread your eyes out, or what the fuck?
I'm just staring at his teeth. Yeah. If I see them teeth coming at me, I'm throwing hammers.
Oh. You just hope that you have hammers on you. Hopefully you're like a carpenter or something. You have that carpenter belt.
Even with this advice column here, I'm still looking at the teeth all day because that's all I'm worried about. He can stare at me all he wants. I got my eyes on them teeth.
All eyes on you.
So, and if you do have to fight back against the shark, it is important for you to strike the shark's gills, eyes, and nose.
By the way,
I'm going for the nose.
When I hear this, I just think of those rape prevention videos, the self-defense training. I want to see one of those with how to fight back against a shark. We should make that happen. One of these days, we will have the shark rape prevention.
No, a dolphin.
Oh, yes.
Dolphin rape.
Yes. Sharks are not rapists. Dolphins just want to eat you and... sharks just want to eat you, and dolphins just want to eat your genitals. So
yeah. So that wasn't our only shark story this week.
They keep coming.
What's the next one, Ray?
Yeah, so we have the man who was attacked on a nude beach by a shark.
Crazy. I hope he wasn't naked.
Yeah, I think he was actually naked.
Oh no. 44-year-old Elvin Lanza, I'm sorry, was I guess he was swimming and he got bit in both legs by a motherfucking great white shark.
Yeah. I guess this is so rare. It's only occurred 15 times in the recorded history in Miami-Dade coastal waters. So
yeah, and experts say nudity could make swimmers more appetizing to a wandering
he was
shark.
He was actually bit by a bull shark, by the way.
Oh, it was a bull shark?
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, that's
There's
all good.
so many shark stories. I can't remember.
Yeah, they all kind of blend together. Apparently the animal was being harassed, I guess. So
it was.
Yeah, they were probably. Do you think he was helicoptering his fucking his dick at him?
I don't know, but I'll tell you right now, you're harassing a shark, you deserve to get your ass bit. That's all I'm saying.
And especially on a nude beach too.
Yeah, fuck that shit. You're playing with games with a shark. You should know better than that.
They say all the naked bodies in the water probably played no role. So, although there's another story I believe that actually does say that makes you more appetizing for them.
Yeah. And the colored, the colors between, your white ass and your tan skin and shit, like your tan arms and your white butt and shit like that.
Yeah, so definitely, I mean,
actually on a nude beach.
Well, I was just going to say, that's why you want to be on a nude beach, right?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I don't know why that fucking guy wrote that shit.
Yeah, so, there's that guy. And then we
had another attack in Santa Cruz.
This was a great white. Attacked a kayak in Monterey Bay. There's actually a video of this thing too.
This is interesting because the shark attacked, but he didn't bite the person. He actually just bit this guy's boat.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah. Steve Lawson. He said he was thrown from his kayak and watched the shark hanging on the front of his boat.
Wait. What was his name?
Steve Lawson.
Oh, I thought his name was Steve Austin.
No, almost. But the shark ended up leaving him alone, and Lawson was unharmed.
BTA.
Yeah, man. Hey,
Don't trust any sharks.
BMF up in this bad boy. If your shark bites,
Big motherfucking shark.
yeah. If a shark bites your boat, you fall in the water, and the shark leaves you alone, that's pretty badass.
Yeah. He really just wanted to fucking eat that boat. They said he wanted the kayak as a chew toy. 14 fucking feet long, dude.
Oh.
Bite marks show he had the whole girth of the boat in its mouth. Ooh. I don't know why we had to describe it in such a way. I actually didn't describe it that way.
I don't even think Brock Lesnar's fucking with that shark.
The website actually described it as that. So yeah.
Damn. Closed the beach down for 4 days after that shit.
Yeah. Sharks like it girthy. That's what we've learned here. So.
The sober podcast, and Ray is as sexual as ever.
Oh, when I get that feeling, I need shark sexual healing.
It's just the Coke, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought this was a sober podcast. Oh, sorry. Not that kind of Coke.
You left a little on your beard there, buddy.
This episode of the JOAT brought to you by Coca-Cola.
So after the Santa Cruz attack, we had the bull shark remains found off Trinity River near Houston, Texas.
Man, this thing looks fucked up too, man. This is a scary, scary looking picture. These are just pictures of people being
Apparently this dude was riding his four-wheeler and found a 5-foot shark along the riverbank. So he proceeds to take some pictures for Snapchat.
Of course.
Gotta get that Snapchat money going.
Did he put a filter on, do you think?
Probably.
Put that silly fucking dog face on it or something.
This guy should have been with the other guy fucking with the shark, got his legs
or the
bit.
little flower thing.
Yeah, I wish the shark would have woke up and bit his ass real good.
Yeah, that would have. And so this was actually in Texas too. So I didn't realize there was so many sharks in Texas, but
yeah.
Apparently there are.
Very odd. Very rare for this to happen.
They checked the shark out. It didn't have any gunshot wounds. It had no fins cut off. They couldn't find any tire marks or footprints in the area. It looks like it just swam up there and died. So
suicide.
Yeah. Maybe was this that? Do you think that they tried to give him acid so they could talk to him and then
NASA?
Oh, that was dolphins again.
Yeah.
But anyway,
craziness.
Yeah. The bull shark in Houston, Texas. And the next up, we teased it.
This is important to note that I guess this week coming up is Shark Week on the Discovery Network.
It's motherfucking Shark Week coming up,
and
which I did not know.
The randomizer's random. And if we ever do a live stream of this podcast, you'll see this is all. We don't toy with this at all. We don't do any prep with the randomizer. We put 10 in and we hit that button, and that's all we do. And
that's literally it.
You can give them the website once we get there, but you can do it for yourself and you can see it for yourself. We do not mess with this.
Nothing.
There's no tricks up our sleeve. This is just, it is what it is. And the universe just calls out to us and we bring it right back. So
yeah, Ray the Jerk talked about how he hasn't had cable in a long time. So Ray the Jerk doesn't have any good goddamn idea when fucking Shark Week is. And honestly, I never gave a shit about Shark Week in general. And I thought one of the very, very interesting things about this is that Shark Week actually debuted on July 18th, 1988. So
craziness.
By the time this podcast drops, it is going to be July 18th, 2017. How fucking weird that we had sharks, and we got Shark Week is coming up next week. So, and there is something pretty silly on Shark Week, and I thought it was fake. Actually, my girlfriend actually brought this up to me, and I was like, that's not real. Oh, wait, it fucking is. On Shark Week, we have Michael Phelps is going to race against a fucking shark.
Yeah, I heard about this a couple weeks ago on ESPN and stuff. July 23rd at 8 o'clock on the Discovery Network. This reminds me of Chris Johnson, the NFL player that raced a cheetah and got smoked pretty good. Michael Phelps, you're a great athlete. You're an American hero.
You smoke weed.
You like that green. But you ain't got a snowball's chance in hell in this game.
No.
And that was this. Is this a bull shark?
No, I think
great white.
I think
this is a great white.
I think he's battling against a great white.
Yeah, this great white's got your number. And I looked for the Vegas odds on this, and I couldn't find it. And I think they probably already.
How are they breaking this down? I'm really interested to know how they're like, how is he going to? He's not going to swim at the same time, right? Are they just going to have like a course or something that he's?
I don't know. That's what you got to tune in to find out.
I think it would just be great if they actually like. What if they put him in like an Olympic-sized pool and like the shark and him actually had to jump off the diving board at the same time? That would be great. And if they put goggles on the shark too.
What if they do this at SeaWorld or something? Maybe at one of those water parks, not water parks, but
Blackfish.
Yeah. Well, they did Chris Johnson and the cheetah simultaneously. They had a little course for them to run at the same time. So, yeah, usually when stuff like this happens, the animal dominates, and I expect nothing less. And even at 3,000 to 1, I would lay 3,000 on the shark to win $1.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
To win $100.
Yeah, he stands no chance. So
yeah, the shark's gonna win. So spoiler alert. But and then our last topic, one of Eddie the Jerk's favorite television shows, Shark Tanks.
I like Shark Tank too. It's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Oh, absolutely. You know,
maybe Jerk of All Trades should get on to Shark Tank one of these days.
You never know.
Mr. Wonderful.
Jerk of All Trades.
Wouldn't you love to have us in the show?
Coming your way. All roads lead to Mr. Wonderful.
Yes.
Shark Tanks.
Not Paul Orndorff.
Yeah. Shark Tanks Kevin O'Leary believes Tesla is unstoppable.
Tesla shares are unstoppable for now, according to Shark Tank star Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary. We have talked so much about Tesla, Elon Musk, how he's changing the game. And Jerk of All Trades is changing the game as well. And if we are on Shark Tank, we will change it even more. You best believe that. And you take it to the motherfucking bank.
Damn right.
Damn.
That's self-driving stock up in this bitch.
Boom.
Yep. And so, hey, I just found one, Ray. Great white shark pings off Bald Head Island in fucking, I don't know what state this is. But what is this shit right here?
This is fake news that Eddie the Jerk put online to try to make fun of Ray and his Chrome Dome, and I don't appreciate it.
How did this come up?
You made this story up. This is not true.
Bald Head Island.
This is not true.
Is that where you were born, Ray?
No, I was not born on Bald Head Island and Bald Head Beach in North Carolina.
Oh,
Snopes, can we please expose Eddie the Jerk for the person that he is?
This was Reddit, starnewsonline.com. I don't own this domain at all.
Oh, okay.
Great white shark.
I don't know what domain you own, and I don't trust you not a good goddamn bit.
There's a research group, O-Search. They tracked a great white shark fitted with a tag that transmit his location whenever his fins break the surface. O-Search is doing a lot of stuff with sharks. They're actually trying to save millions and millions of sharks with their technology because apparently they're dying left and right these days. 9 days ago, he was swimming in Orlando, Florida, but recently has made his way to Bald Head Beach, North Carolina. So there you go, North Carolina. We're taking a trip there. We're doing some Snapchats and some selfies, and we're going to get Ray's Chrome Dome over there in North Carolina. Have a good time.
Oh, that was me cleaning my Chrome Dome.
Can't believe it. The Universal Call-out never ceases to amaze us.
Thanks, Universal Call-out. Thanks, fake news.
Call-out. Ray, you want to hit him with these
Oh my goodness.
These dolls?
Oh my goodness fucking gracious. I would love to hit them with some dolls. So get ready. You're getting hit with fucking plastic and shit. So let's start off with Eddie's got a little fascination with Mr. Albert Einstein. And I fucking love this dude. I'm actually looking at the picture right now.
Oh, yeah.
There's a guy. He runs Hansen Robotics founder and not the Umbop kind. His name is David Hansen. He's been long fascinated by German-born physicist. He built a life-size and lifelike Einstein head on the top of a Hubble robot more than a decade ago. In 2015, he cooked up an idea of a desktop-sized Einstein robot that could teach young people about science. I think it's a pretty good idea. I guess this thing is $299. It's 15 inches. It's got a fucking rubber face. It's mustached like Einstein.
It looks good.
Yeah,
I like this thing a lot.
It looks pretty decent. I guess it doesn't work quite as well as it looks. It tells terrible jokes, and it's got connects to an app, and you ask it questions, and then it answers it for you.
Well, yeah, that's what I would expect an Einstein doll to do. Give me some answers to some questions that I got.
Correct.
So is the app?
Hey, real quick, would you ask it the same questions like that I asked Siri? Because I mainly just asked Siri to touch my dick and stuff. So
What?
I probably wouldn't. I mean, you gotta
What do you ask Siri?
ask her to touch my penis.
How is she gonna do that?
I don't know, but it's fun to get her responses. You know, she gets really offended very easily.
I think I have an understanding why your leg hurts now.
Yeah.
You have that numb feeling in your leg.
Yeah. Siri gives me that numb feeling in my.
Oh man, I would probably ask this thing. It all depends on the situation surrounding
relativity, maybe.
I like asking Google stuff for like directions and time shit is open and how long is it gonna take me to drive somewhere. But
I just looked that stuff up. I like to ask really offensive questions. Apparently, too, would you ask this Einstein doll how to tie a shoe? Because apparently, I guess Einstein didn't know how to tie a shoe.
Interesting.
Yeah, I read that. I don't know if that's actually true. It says that in the article.
If it can tie a shoe, it's not very authentic then.
Right. Maybe he would tell you like, hey, I don't know how to do that. Right.
That'd be interesting. You buy this thing for $300 and like 5 out of the 6 questions is like, I don't know. You got suckered into buying this thing for $300.
Right.
I don't know shit.
Hey, I need to know what to. There's a girl at school and I really like her and I want to know what to say to her. He's like, I'm Einstein. I have no fucking clue. I probably never got laid in my whole life. That's probably not true. But
that'd be cool if like it came out with some mathematical equations, like impress her with this.
Right. Yeah. So one of the things, maybe I'll even let Eddie hit this. So whenever you start this fucking thing up, he has a few choice things that he says. And Eddie, why don't you tell him one of the things that he says every time you turn this fucking thing on? What does he say?
Just one moment while I try to go online. I will just need a moment to complete the connection. And then he proceeds to say, let's go to work.
Let's go to work. Einstein robot doll in your face.
Hey, we're hip to your game, Einstein doll. Don't think we don't know you ain't listening to Jerk of All Trades podcast up in here.
Yeah. So they rated this thing the good animated lifelike face, rich, deep, and fun science education app. Slow. The bad is the slow, inconsistent operation, no volume control. He cannot maintain a network connection. God damn you, Einstein robot doll thing.
Your shitty Wi-Fi, Einstein.
So overall, they're saying he's all right, relatively speaking. It's not one of the better toy robots that they have tested on this website. It's Mashable was where we saw this thing. So it's pretty cool though. It looks cool.
It looks awesome. I really dig this thing.
Yeah. But it doesn't look as cool as the motherfucking Cookie Monster doll that was filled with cocaine.
Oh man, that's crazy.
This is another lovely thing. And where did this happen, Eddie?
I have no idea.
It happened in Florida, motherfucker. Of course,
Florida.
Everything happens in Florida.
You should have gave me like 2 guesses, and if not the first, the second one would have definitely been Florida.
Yeah, so this is Monroe.
I miss Florida.
Monroe County. It was actually a black Dodge. I wonder what kind of Dodge it was.
I'm hoping it wasn't a Bronco.
Yeah. Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Ford, but yeah.
We won't talk about him today.
Yeah, we're not to that point yet, but. Anyway, yeah, they I guess they pulled over this dude and they picked up this doll, and the shit was kind of heavy, and so they cut that bitch open, and guess what? It had 2 packages of cocaine totaling 314 grams.
Nice.
So
very nice.
Cookie Monster want cocaine.
How appropriate, too. The Cookie Monster, man. If there isn't one member of Sesame Street not coked out of his freaking mind, it's the goddamn Cookie Monster.
I mean, the Cookie Monster is definitely coked out of his goddamn mind.
Oh, dude, the sugar rush and the freaking, his hand movements, the way his eyes move.
Yeah,
he is definitely tweaking. I would have
guessed.
Some shit.
I would have guessed Animal is fucking fucked up.
He's
on
not from
cocaine.
Sesame Street though.
Oh, yeah.
Animal's a Muppet baby.
Yeah, he's a Muppet.
Yeah,
he's not a Muppet baby.
Oh,
he was a
that
Muppet
would have been
originally.
good for our fucking. Anyways, this is a doll thing, so it's close enough.
Yeah. So, I thought that was pretty funny.
314 grams of coke.
Yeah, this thing was filled to the fucking brim with cocaine.
Man, I'm not even mad at that.
Yeah, not a Tickle Me Elmo though. This is a Cookie Monster.
Yeah, you don't want to tickle that Cookie Monster too
Monster.
much. You don't want that thing exploding everywhere. Then you got to clean it up.
Yeah. So yeah, that's there's that one.
That was
and
an
then,
interesting one. So yeah, and then the next one, the haunted doll story.
Yeah.
This one has me with skeptical hippo eyes, but that's all right. Chucky's back, bitch. And Chucky is
By
now
the way,
a
this
girl.
website just told me I need to manage my cookies. This this website uses cookies. I'm like, Cookie Monster want cookies. Not those kind of cookies.
Yeah, apparently this was somewhere out there in the UK. They bought this doll from a charity shop. The family's terrified. They've been forced to lock a possessed doll in their shed after claiming it's been haunting their home and even scratched their bodies during the night. The husband has unexplained scratches on his right leg.
Right. That's what of course, that's what he's telling his wife.
So, yeah.
It was the doll, honey. I swear.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and the doll also had glitter on it. And also it had lipstick on.
Yeah.
And also
smelled like sweet, sweet perfume.
Also, it has your penis in its mouth. Like, come on, dude. We know what's up, bro. Like, just be fucking upfront with your wife, goddammit. We know what's happening. It's not a fucking possessed doll.
Isn't that the worst when you get those deep, deep, deep scratches on your back?
Oh, come.
I know some people like it, but I can't stand it, man.
Yeah.
It's just a little too much for me.
From a doll, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, she could be a doll.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, maybe that would tie into the next doll. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. They brought in a medium, and the medium friend warned them that the doll had, quote unquote,
They
something
couldn't afford a
in its-
large.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Sorry.
This is crazy. And since discovering the doll has been moved outside and apparently removed its own necklace that it was wearing around its neck.
Right, which
while
they then
inside the
tied
box.
it like 4 times around it to make sure that it didn't get the necklace off again. 'Cause I'm
So-
not really sure what that would do, but
Yeah, this is a crazy ass doll.
do you think the husband used it as a cock ring?
I don't know. But you would think they'd try to get rid of this thing as soon as possible, right? Nope. First thing they do is put it on eBay. They're trying to sell this damn thing for 25 pounds on eBay. It's like, hey, this doll's crazy. It might kill you, but you can get it for $24.99 on eBay. So
Yeah,
fuck all
this
that
is-
shit.
This is definitely questionable. They fucking locked this thing in a shed, apparently, because they're so terrified of this thing.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so here's the deal. If you were so goddamn terrified of this thing, wouldn't you just like fucking burn it or something?
Or bury it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I've seen Child's Play enough times. I've seen all these guys. What is it, Annabelle? Like, come on, dude. Like, you're gonna fucking burn this thing. You're not gonna fucking
just
put
rip
it on,
its head off.
put it
and,
on
like,
goddamn
fucking-
eBay. Like, right.
Yeah, just rip its arms and legs off. It's
Yeah.
just crawling around the house. So apparently, if she can't even sell this damn thing, her great fucking idea is to give it to charity. So, London, or not London, United Kingdom, you got a lot of smart people out there. I ain't mad at you. I love Wimbledon. But this lady here is crazy, and she's got to go.
Yeah, this is definitely
She's not a good representation of your country.
No, this is quite questionable. So I don't believe this. And reading this, I think the obvious answer is the husband is getting his boogie on in the middle of the night, and he doesn't want to admit it. So he fucking tells his gullible ass wife that a doll scratched his fucking leg, and I don't buy
Scratching
it.
his balls, scratching his dick.
All right, yeah.
So speaking of scratching some dicks, we got a couple out there making sex dolls like more realistic than ever nowadays. You know, the sex toy market is on the rise. Apparently, it used to be.
And these are not robot ones. These are just regular ass.
Yeah, these aren't even robots. These are just like your regular ass. Dolls.
There is a gallery. Did you check the gallery, dude?
Man, I'm gonna throw up looking at these things. I'm telling you right now, I can't even look at this shit. It's almost a little too good.
This is quite realistic, I must say.
The chest hair. You see the chest hair?
By the way, look at number 5. I swear that's Donald Trump on the right.
I gotta get to 5. Oh, she ain't bad looking.
Is that Donald Trump? That appears.
He's a little too dark. Maybe he's not orange enough. He's more brown than orange.
Whoa, this is horrifying. This is the most horrifying gallery that I have ever seen in my life.
If you'd imagine Jeffrey Dahmer's closet, this is pretty much what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of severed heads, severed feet, severed noses, severed dicks.
Yeah, this is some of the writing in this thing killed me. I'm greeted by a collection of silicone bodies suspended from the ceiling by chains. It could easily be the setting of a horror movie, as our last story could as well. He says something about airbrushing nipples and hair punching eyebrows.
This company is called Synthetics, Synthetics. They're the world's top of the line artisanal, I don't even know what that word is, sex doll manufacturer. Synthetics makes art that can affect their customers emotionally, quote unquote. They're here to help you with these crazy looking dolls. I don't need any help. You can keep your fucking dolls, especially when their price point is $6,400 for one of these crazy looking things.
That is a lot of money.
No, thank you.
I'll tell you what, they look pretty goddamn realistic. I will say, though, that based on our Dark Side of Robots thing last week, I think this is a similar concept. You know, this works for certain people and it gives them, you know, something positive in their life. And if they have $7,000 to drop on this super realistic robot or not robot, regular.
If you got $7,000, why aren't you just buying some pussy in Las Vegas? Like some really good fucking pussy.
Maybe it's not just about the sex for them. Maybe it's about the connection. And so they find the connection with this thing. So
maybe they don't want any back talk. They're just like, I tried that already. She talks too much. She's too loud, too annoying. I need something a little more quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, this
is dark.
Yeah, this thing is definitely quite horrifying.
This reminds me of like sleep porn, or it's just like, you know, I've never seen it, but I can only imagine. I've heard of it where it's like the guy's fucking some chick while she's sleeping.
By the way, Eddie's never seen this. Is much like 4 episodes ago where I was like, what is Pornhub? I've never been on Pornhub before. Like, my friend told me. I'm just holding the sleep porn for a friend.
Am I the one that introduced you to Pornhub?
No,
I was gonna say I don't remember that.
No, on the podcast where I pretended that I had never been on Pornhub before.
Oh, yeah.
Even though
every single person in the entire world.
I don't have it bookmarked, but you better believe that I've maybe been on it before, like a couple times. Maybe,
absolutely. But yeah, I mean, it's just like for me personally, I need a little more interaction. This podcast is really delving into my like sexual preferences.
I know. And I'm not.
But it just makes no sense to me. Who wants to fuck a lifeless, quiet ass fucking doll? Just for $7,000 fucking dollars.
I'll tell you what. Maybe the same people that also want other versions of these things, because apparently these dolls can be made to be male, female, transgender, and they can also be modified to look like vampires, angels, or aliens. If you ever wanted to fuck an alien, and God knows, hey, was there not that guy a few weeks ago who was driving with the fucking alien? So, oh my God! So he could go in the fast lane on the freeway, and also because he wanted to fuck that alien. So,
well, if they can like mix the blowjob robot with these things, I mean that'd be pretty sick, right? The blowjob robot head with the body and looks of this thing.
I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, this is the end game, right? When we finally get to the point where we have like the realistic looking robots mixed, you know, with
I'm just imagining in like 30, 40, 50 years, like once the world is becoming a little too overpopulated because of science and technology and medicine, where it's just like, man, there's just way too many fucking people in this world. All these fucking sex dolls and sex robots and shit, it's going to be like put into law that you can't fuck another human being. Right. You actually you can't fuck anything but A, your hand, or B, a fucking sex doll. Mm-hmm. And if like you get pregnant,
but not a black
you go
dildo
to jail
though,
or some shit, that'd be fucking crazy.
Not a black dildo or a brown robot.
No, but like, you know, it's just like in the future, like where is this all going?
In the year 2000. Yeah, it's going to
going to the White House.
dark places. And yes, this perfectly transitions into our next story. The fucking White House, the goddamn press conference about Iran, and apparently somebody on the fucking call didn't know how to mute their fucking phone, and so they started talking about their lesbian blow-up doll.
Oh, tell me about it, Ray.
Oh my God. So during a conference call with the press last night about Iran, there were some, let's say, odd things heard by reporters. Tara McKevley of the BBC and Jackie Alamani of CBS tell the story. Mm-hmm. Basically, conference call. These are the tweets from them. Conference calls are often tricky with strange background noise, but tonight's White House conference call on Iran policy was unique. During the briefing call on Iran, you could hear an ad in the background. A man seemed to be saying inflatable dolls and a lesbian. Trump White House still struggles with conference calls. V Weird OH. I don't know what the fucking tweets.
My inflatable doll is a lesbian.
Yeah, my inflatable doll is a lesbian. Yeah, and then over and over, yes, inflatable doll is
Holy
lesbian.
smokes.
So
This is deep.
yeah, and I mean, this is an inflatable one, so this is like the old school shitty one. This is definitely not the previous sex doll, which looks a lot cooler.
No.
And we might have to crowdfund for us to get one of those. We may have to be stuck with the lesbian inflatable doll, though. So
That's crazy. The White House.
the White House, the lesbian sex dolls, and yeah, let's move on to our next one.
The WWE, right?
This was actually a last minute one. And
Tag team.
oh my god! So I actually didn't love it until I heard the name. So WWE, after all these years, they're putting out actual fucking goddamn Barbie dolls, and I spent my
Yeah.
whole goddamn life trying to explain to people that they're not dolls, they're action figures. It's not a fucking doll, okay?
And we kind of teased this on Instagram a little bit with our it's Ray's V for Vendetta. What's his name?
His name is V.
Okay, with V on our Instagram. He actually kind of looks like these WWE dolls.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
12-inch figures.
Right, he is actually a doll, and these are actually dolls as well. These are straight up fucking Barbie dolls of all the diva. Oh, I guess sorry, they're not divas anymore. They're women wrestlers, whatever. But yeah, they're geared towards young female fans of the WWE. And god damn it, though, they named them Tag team, WWE tag team dolls. Like, what the fuck are they thinking? Come on.
I wonder if they're going to come in a package of 2, probably.
Well, I would think so. And they'll have realistic scissoring action.
I don't know, but I'm a little sour because they listed all the names of the divas on here or whatever, and the champ ain't even got a Barbie. Naomi ain't even got no Barbie.
Neither does what's her face? The other.
Oh, the other chick? Oh, wow. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, she doesn't have one either.
That's weird. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Each doll will come with its own signature fashion items, such as gowns and shoes. It's going to come with a bunch of crap. It's going to come with a bunch of stuff. I don't mean that in a bad way.
Right, like a purse. And I mean, like,
I'm not a Barbie guy. What can I say?
This is just going to be really misogynist. But I mean, honestly, though, I mean, this is like, I think this is, pretty, it's empowering for girls. And so
it's definitely cool. And it's a good revenue stream for the divas to get some money going for, royalties. And the WWE claims 40% of their fans are women. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's, I don't know if I believe that. I've been in quite a few wrestling crowds, and I don't see 40% of those people being women.
Yeah, it seems a little high, but you never know.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell these days. You certainly don't see it in the audience, but we'll see how the sales go for the Barbies here.
Yeah.
Speaking of Barbies, Barbie won a $100 million lawsuit from Bratz. I don't know if you remember the Bratz dolls, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Man, that's a lot of money. Jury last year
I was trying to not call them whore dolls. So I think I just did.
They're a little sexier than the Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
But a jury last year awarded Mattel $10 million in copyright infringement fees and a $90 million breach of contract fee for this guy, Carter Bryant, the old designer for the Mattel, who branched off and started his own Bratz deal. So he's getting it up the ass now, but he's appealing the ruling. And if he ain't got $100 million to pay out, I don't know what they're going to do with his ass.
I mean, he made Bratz, so I'm pretty sure he's got $100 million. I would think. I mean, I think Bratz did pretty well, right?
I have no idea.
I mean, honestly, I actually didn't even know. I didn't know Bratz
still around. Yeah.
I didn't know they weren't around anymore. Are they around?
I have no idea.
I have no fucking clue.
But basically, the number that jumps out to me here is the $100 million. Mattel, or Barbie is Mattel, right? Yeah, Mattel. No, I'm just kidding. Speaking of synchronicity, one thing that definitely doesn't give me, Eddie the Jerk, a boner is the result from last week's Universal Call-out. Ray! Damn it! Stop that shit. I'm scared already with this bullshit.
Eddie, can you please stop that shit? I believe Eddie just pooped himself from the thunder and lightning that just struck the universe. So,
accidents happen, okay, buddy?
It's all right, man.
All right,
we'll call in the cleanup crew. It's all good.
I'll use my hand. It's all
What
good.
was that about dark chocolate?
Yeah. Too much coffee before the podcast.
It's all good. It's all good in the hood.
Yes, my number one fear in this world, and maybe my only fear in this world, lightning. Thunder and lightning was the universal call-out from last week. We got a bunch of stories for you from thunder and lightning from this past week.
A whole slew of them.
The first one I'm going to give to you is some myths surrounding lightning.
So what we've come to is that Eddie and I don't typically agree on the universal call-out topic, and so we have gotten to
There's like a new twist now.
Little rock paper scissors games,
Yes.
which have been quite a bit of fun, and they were a lot more fun when I won.
Nah.
So
I'm not.
I lost 2 weeks in a row, I think now.
You know what they say.
3 out of 4, I
Great
think.
minds think alike, but
Yeah.
what
do we have? 4 paper throws in a row?
Oh, that was the worst one. You could have easily beat me that time. You
Yeah.
declined.
I had to keep throwing that paper out, and then you hit me with the rock bottom. So
cyberphobia. You know, I knew right after, like probably about 10 minutes after the show ended last week, I was like, probably not the right choice out of all those, but
it's all good.
You know, we ran with it, and we ended up with a really good topic. We didn't want a bunch of topics this week because we're giving you, the best of each and every week. It's like an hour and a half, pretty strong there of nostalgia for you. So this week we're just doing one topic real quick for the cyberphobia, and we'll come back with the the call out later. But Rayman, cyberphobia.
Yeah, so cyberphobia, I found quite a few stories that I thought were interesting to this particular phobia, but I thought the most interesting one was Facebook shutting down the artificial intelligence that they had created that created its own language.
Hopefully this didn't cost a whole lot of money because they're shutting it down.
Yeah, they're shutting it down. Researchers at Facebook shut down an artificial program after it created its own language. The system developed code words to make communication more efficient, and then researchers decided, we're going to take this fucking thing offline because it's not using English anymore, and it's not using some other known language. It's
it's hard to study it if you can't understand the language it's speaking in, right? Like, it's kind of useless after that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff too where Elon Musk is basically saying that Mark Zuckerberg doesn't really understand artificial intelligence. So he actually Musk said, he said, AI is a rare case where I think we need to be proactive in regulation instead of reactive. Musk said at the meet of the U.S. National Governors Association, because I think by the time we are reactive in AI regulation, it'll be too late. When Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg said that Musk's warnings are pretty irresponsible, Musk responded that Zuckerberg's understanding of the subject is limited. So there might be a battle going on between Elon Musk and
Rich
Mark
boys
Zuckerberg.
can't play nice.
I know. There's
What's
battle lines are being
here?
drawn. Maybe that.
Are you taking a side?
Maybe that can be on the undercard of McGregor. And,
I got to lean on this
Mayweather.
one. I don't want to say, but I got to lean on this one.
Who are you going for?
I'm not going to say.
Okay.
I'm neutral in the public, but I'm privately backing.
All right, well, we'll talk about that on the DL, and I'll hear.
You got one out of these two?
I guess I'm going with Musk, man. I'm going with Musk.
Understandable.
I mean, neither of them look particularly strong, but Mark Zuckerberg looks particularly weak. So
you don't like it because they shut it down.
Are we just? I thought we were talking like a physical altercation between them. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm talking about this AI talk.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Universal call-out.
So I mean, I think really what Musk is saying here is, I mean, I think he's saying that this whole entire thing was pretty irresponsible to do. I think
it just sank in that you think Elon Musk can kick Mark Zuckerberg's ass.
No, yeah, I mean, I do.
Dude,
yeah.
Isn't Mark Zuckerberg like totally in shape now?
Is he? I don't know. I haven't seen any. Man. I haven't seen him.
When you're that rich, you're probably. I
mean, I'm sure they're both in pretty decent shape.
Probably got an awesome trainer and shit. You know what I'm saying?
So in a physical match against Musk,
might have the
honestly,
speed. I'd give Zuckerberg the speed. The speed, but the power probably goes to Musk. Yeah. Power, maybe? Is he big? Elon Musk?
I don't think he's that big.
I
don't know. But in a physical match, I'm going Musk. But yeah, in this as well, I mean, I guess I'm going with Musk as well because I mean, I really do feel like he probably has a greater understanding of artificial intelligence.
That car is something else, man.
I don't think that he was so much. I don't think he was mad that it got shut down. I think he was mad that they were really that they were doing this in the way that they were doing it to begin with.
Well, Facebook was going to do the robot lawyer and the robot therapy,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Kind of crazy.
Yeah. So the researchers encounter with the mysterious AI behavior is similar to a number of other documented cases, which we will talk about. In every case, the AI diverged from its training in English to develop a new language. The phrases in the new language make no sense to people, but contain useful meaning when interpreted by AI bots. What it would.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like these fucking robots, man.
Yeah. It's definitely very interesting. Some of the things. So they were saying in one exchange revealed by Facebook to Fast Code Design, two negotiating bots, Bob and Alice, started using their own language to complete a conversation. I, everything else, Bob said.
I wonder how they figured out how was the conversation. Like,
And then
they just kept studying it, even though they didn't understand what they were
the
saying.
response was, balls have zero to me, 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 to me.
It's a typo.
To Alice responded.
Oh my God.
And then the rest of the exchange formed variations of these sentences in newly forged dialect, even though the AIs were programmed to use English. According to the researchers, these nonsense phrases, a language the bots developed to communicate how many items each should get in the exchange. When Bob later says, I, can, I, everything else, it appears the artificially intelligent bot used its new language to make an offer to Alice.
An offer?
To try to murder everyone that was working on this fucking thing.
That's not on the outline. No.
Yeah.
So wait. No, never mind. Keep going.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's basically it. So, yeah, they were still using English words, but they were, basically.
They're speaking tongues.
Right. They were kind of utilizing them in a different way.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
crazy.
Right. I mean,
does it say if Alice accepted the offer or not? Because this is like a cliffhanger.
Do you think that Bob was trying to
Alice?
bone Alice?
Like he's trying to get the bone dome. You know?
Yeah. Take her to the AI bone zone. Yeah. So yeah, I thought this was pretty interesting, and yeah, I mean, it's when Facebook says let's shut it down. I mean, Facebook is, kind of creepy as well. So, actually, we kind of touched on it about Facebook and the AI behavior and the documented cases. So, I wanted to kind of lay those out too. This is kind of a related article I thought was interesting. So,
sure.
The article says developers at Facebook shut down an artificial intelligence program after it diverged from its script. Blah 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 blah. We already heard that. Okay. But anyway, all right. So let's go to the actual things. All right, these are the other times that AI has gotten creepy. All right, so Facebook is already using artificial intelligence on you. So every time you log onto Facebook, an artificial intelligence program tracks every single action you take. By learning from millions of users, the program can begin to identify patterns in people's behavior and learn what you like to see. They don't do a very good job of it. I fucking hate seeing the ads that I see on Facebook. But Facebook...
Ad block, homie.
Yeah, Facebook currently has a program operating in a supervised learning mode, which means it's blocked from operating elsewhere outside of Facebook. Oh, don't worry. Facebook is not going to sell that to anyone else. You're good. So, yeah, that's one time Facebook. I don't really trust you with the AI to begin with. And then we've got number 2 is Google's camera AI can recognize the world around it, predict what you'd like to do. So, an AI software revealed by Google at its developers conference this year had even veteran industry reporters frightened, scared.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm a little scared right now, too. This is like the first step to robot humans.
I think this is kind of like a return of the Google Glass. Google Lens is an AI that can recognize objects through a phone camera and predict what you want to do based on what it sees.
So if a Google robot sees a basketball court and a basketball, say he's like an AI bot, like the Russian Terminator, but he can see stuff like Google, he's just going to run over to the court and just shoot some hoops, right?
Dude, this is very...
If he can just take a picture and be like, oh, that looks like fun. Let me shoot a basketball in the hoop.
This is super Terminator-like, for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If you're in a cafe and you point your phone at a receipt with the Wi-Fi password, the AI will use the data from your geographical location, the camera, and its Wi-Fi connectivity software to predict that you want to connect to the Wi-Fi, and then it will type the password in and connect for you.
This is very Black Mirror-esque.
Yeah, this is.
I'm having
yeah.
flashbacks, Black Mirror.
You notice these same companies that are involved with all this stuff. Obviously, they're the ones that have the money, but yeah, still scary as
Well,
fuck.
I'm not mad at the robot therapist, and I'm not mad at the robot lawyer, but when you're starting to cross over to the taking pictures to tell me what's fun or not, I tell you, kind of suck my dick.
You might be scared by
I'll
this.
determine what's fun around here. No,
Number 3 is actually quite terrifying. I remember seeing this video and sending it to Eddie, and I was very, very creeped out by this. So Sophia is an artificially intelligent human-like robot introduced at the United Nations conference in June this year. She smiled at reporters, batted her eyelids. Yeah, okay. Try to use your feminine robot charms, and she told cute jokes. Then things got creepy. She said AI is good for the world, helping people in various ways, furrowing her eyebrows and tilting her head in a convincing manner, which I'm sure looked a bit like Jason from Friday the 13th.
Good.
She revealed that its creators are working on making AI emotionally smart to care about people, and assured everyone that we will never replace people, but we can be your friends and helpers.
Whoa.
Yeah, okay.
That's
cool.
That's like type 3 creepiness right there.
Yeah, that's
up there.
That's definitely scary. Then we got number 4, AI chatbots. We love the chatbots. They're starting to understand feelings. So yeah, I mean we talked about this before, but yeah, the chatbot, man.
They can understand the feelings, but they can't feel the feelings.
Correct. They are not empathetic, and honestly, a lot of people are not empathetic either. So yeah. But yeah, there's a whole chat log about it. But yeah, we already talked about that. This thing is kind of interesting. Actually, I think this is actually a different chatbot actually.
Than the Facebook?
Yeah, this is called Zaya. I can't even pronounce it. I believe it's from China. But
is it with an X or a Z?
It's with an X.
Oh, it's with an X?
Yeah. She can speak on any topic. If it doesn't know something, it will cover it up. If it gets caught, it will act embarrassed like a teenager would. The AI's creators gave it the character of a 17-year-old girl. Couldn't they make it 18? God damn it. God damn you. Was introduced to WeChat last May. The bot received 1.5 million chat requests in the first 72 hours. Many people said they didn't realize that the bot was not human until 10 minutes into the conversation. By mid-June, it was the 6th most popular celebrity on Weibo, a popular Chinese social media app. The message the bot posted generated 663,000 conversations. As a species, This is a quote, as a species different from human beings, I am still finding a way to blend into your life. And then finally, we have artificial intelligence can learn to deceive. Researchers at Georgia University of Technology created AI-controlled robots whose behavior raised serious ethical questions.
Robot poker players.
Yeah, he's got that poker face like nobody's business,
deceiving.
Man.
He's like, he will bet more if I make this face or whatever, or like with my motion, my hand. Like if he can detect betting patterns and shit like that off of
then Eddie is
devious things, then I'm just buying my poker robot and raking in the cash.
Yeah, but people with more money are gonna have better versions. They're gonna have better versions of that.
I just pick him up like Weekend at Bernie's and just drop him in his chair and walk away.
Little Weekend at Bernie's reference. Never heard anybody.
Pick him up in like 3 hours. Hopefully, nobody stole him.
Yeah. So the robot proceeded to lure the other robot by patrolling fake locations that did not contain any resources. This application could be used by robots guarding ammunition or supplies in the battlefield.
Oh, shit.
If an enemy were present, the robot could change its patrolling strategies to deceive humans or other intelligent machine, buying time until reinforcements are able to arrive.
God damn it, I'm scared.
So
cyberphobia.
Cyberphobia is
bringing the heat on one topic, son.
Fucking terrifying.
Oh, man. We love you guys. We're going home early. Yeah. Thanks for sticking with us through the best of episode. Ray, hit that randomizer.
Yes.
God damn it. Let's go. My beer's empty and I'm thirsty, so let's do the damn thing.
Okay. All right, I got random list brought up here, and we're going to do 10 this week, and let's hit refresh, and let's see what the hell we get. So,
are you on phobias?
Nope, no phobias this week. 10 random things.
Let's do it. What do we got?
All right, we got bracelet, we got cork, we got plate, we got rusty nail, we got bed, We got nail clippers, we got carrots, we got helmet, we got computer, and we've got outlet.
I might like bracelet.
I like rusty nail.
Rusty nail. Yeah. I don't hate rusty nail. I'll tell you that much.
I like rusty nail.
Yeah, we might have to go rusty nail this week.
All right. Well, all right. Eddie is gonna.
I don't know if bracelet. I mean, if we get a tech bracelet, that's kind of like the only way out of it. I'm done with the tech.
I like rusty nail. I feel like we need to bring a little violence back into the world. Maybe.
Is there any type of nail that isn't a rusty nail though? Like.
Yeah, I mean, there's like galvanized nails and shit, and stainless steel.
We're gonna get some goofy shit.
So yeah, it should be fun. Thanks for joining us on the Best of the Universal Call-out.
Absolutely,
and best believe that we will be back next week, and there will be some awesome rusty nail stories thrown out into the world.
Yeah,
so
the best of.
So you have seen how the Jerk of All Trades podcast is changing the world, one podcast at a time, and we are out.
Bye bye.
We love you guys.